What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, today in the studio with my boy Dan. What's up?
What's going on? Look like you just woke up or something.
I definitely did. I took a nice ass nap. I was out here editing a video. I'm like looking at the computer screen and I'm like, you know what?
Knocking out.
I got like 15 minutes left before I'm supposed to meet up with Dan because it was like 7:15. I was like, screw it. Let's take a nap. I watched this video and the video was like, I used to feel bad about like taking naps and stuff because I was like, it just feels like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. But the video was like, no, like it's not about how much sleep you get. It's about the quality of sleep that you get. And that taking short, like essentially like short, like power naps. So like my nap was like a half hour. Taking those can really help just give you like the boost of energy you need to make it through the day. And it's not a shameful thing to take naps. So I was like, oh, okay. Supposedly. I don't take them much. Hey, every time I've taken a nap, I wake up feeling so much better afterwards. The problem is if you take your nap and you fall into deep sleep, now you're in a sticky predicament there.
Or you're at the point of like, you don't actually like get the sleep. So it's like before that middle ground and it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
That's usually where I am when I take a nap or I try to take a nap. Occasionally I'll knock out. Occasionally I'll knock out for a nap. Generally
speaking, I don't have problems falling asleep. I think if you're a person who like you take a minute to like fall asleep, that's when naps are probably not the best for you. But generally when I close my eyes, it's night night. So
we know.
So yeah, that's your tidbit of the day. If you guys felt bad about taking naps, there you go. I mean,
no one should ever feel bad about taking naps, especially if you need it. Your body sometimes just needs it, especially if you didn't get enough sleep or something.
That's the thing, right? Like I always felt like I got enough sleep. Last night I went to bed at like, it was definitely like maybe like 3, and then I woke up at like, I guess 11, somewhere between 10 to 11. So like I definitely got like my 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and that's when I normally get up every day. But for some reason today I was just like, nah, I need myself a nap. Can't make it through without a nap.
It also like because of my ex, she used to like, she went into the science of like sleep and all that stuff because her study routines and all that stuff. Like for her, she needed a solid 5 hours sleep. That was it. And she was able to like function, do everything she needs to do. And so like for some people, like sometimes I could take an 8-hour sleep and be more tired than if I slept 4 hours. I'm so like, my sleep is so, I guess, erratic that sometimes shorter sleep for me is better. And then there's sometimes where like the 8 hours is like perfect and like I'm good to go. It's just strange for me, I guess, because like I don't have a consistent sleep schedule. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I know like depending on the time you sleep also matters on like the how it affects you too. So like the reason why you said like you went to bed at 3 a.m. that's probably why you're a little bit more tired than usual because of the time when you're supposed to be asleep versus awake thing or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense because normally I try to be in bed by like 2.
Exactly. So like that's probably why. So like I bet if you were to bring that back like 3 hours and still have the same amount of sleep, you would be like more energized versus because of the time you went to sleep.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't mind me, I'm gonna munch on this pod like a little fat ass.
This guy.
It's close to bedtime. And I am trying to do better with eating before certain time. I'm not going to bed until like 20. Gives me like 6 hours to digest. Anyways.
Run around real quick afterwards to energize that metabolism.
Go outside and
another science,
right,
you know, if you eat after like 6 p.m., your body is already naturally go into like sleep mode or whatever it is. It's like the technical term. So your metabolism is like a lot more slower after those hours. So like then your body is not what's the word? It's not using the food that you gain as energy and it's storing it as fat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
That's your little tidbit of
Yeah.
health
And health
and
talk.
health and well-care knowledge
Yeah.
for the day. Y'all came here for Digimon, and unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that Digimon sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Dan, locals, how was it?
Oh my god, terrible. Not terrible
no.
in the sense I did terrible. Bad. The finals I did bad. So I played Machine Dramon. I wanted to get back into it. And playing purple base Machine Dramon. Feels pretty good. Round 1. I'm also missing my Machine Dramon and I'm waiting in the mail to get the rest of them. So I'm still on like instead of a 3-1 split, I did a 3-2 split. Feels weird, but
At least you bought them before they went up in price.
yeah, I bought them like 2 weeks ago. I still haven't gotten them. I probably should hit up to TCG Player, honestly.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so a 3-2 split at the moment. What I did for the Machine Dramons, I went purple base. Purple base, you just draw more cards. And nowadays, purple base doesn't feel as bad because now you have anywhere between 6 to 8 black teamers to play. So you have a higher chance in opening that black teamer. And then you're able to use your black options. So that's pretty good. And yeah, so it felt pretty good running the purple base. Round 1, I ran into dinos. My first hand was terrible because it was for after organizing. So, you know, that first shuffle was never the best. So I ended up opening my hand of like multiple analog mans. I think I had like 6 analog mans by the time the game was done. And did nothing. I double Supreme. Like I had like so many Supreme plays. And it got to the point because everything was stacked together that I had so many ultimates in my hand that it was just like free gain of memory and draw. So I eventually got to my Machine Dramon. And even though he got me down to 0 security, I was able to OTK him at that point.
He said I brute forced my way into a Machine Dramon.
Yeah, basically what happened. I mean, at that point, that Machine Dramon was like plus two game memory. You know, that's how much resources I had on the board, and it was just so cheap to play. So I ended up like OTK him at like 0. While I was at 0, he was probably like 4 at this point because I started drawing the rookies and stuff. And I got rid of his Dinomon. Not that hard to deal with. Even when he had the protection, I was able to pop it with something. I don't remember what it was. Or no, I waited a turn to pop it. That's what it was. And then I just dealt with it. Game 2, I was faster at the gates. And then I went Machine Dramon, did like 4 damage, something like that. And then swung with a rookie. No. It was like 3. I think I did like 4. Yeah, I did like 4 damage with on the board to put him to 0. And then I hard drop an OG Machine Dramon. And I go blitz, rush blitz. And he was like, how is this able to swing again? I'm just like, dude, attacking a heavy gives everything. Blitz rush. And then he's like, he almost called a judge about it. I'm just like, bro, read the card. It's not a one Evo blitz. This is just on play gains blitz if you have sources underneath. It's not hard to figure out. I've been playing this deck since EX10. You've seen it. So, and winning that 2-0 pretty easily. And then, I had the bye. That's what it was. I had bye round 1. Round 1 bye. Round 2, that would happen. And then the finals, I played against Garurumon. And I was just goofing. I don't know. Yesterday it was a weird day because it was a very weird day for me just in general. And I wasn't thinking my plays fully, I think. And when I played against that, I had the chance to OTK him game 1. And I didn't even think about the idea of him having something that was 12k, even though he was playing Melga. And Secret Melga is 12k. So I had Chaos Dramon with a Cyber Dramon Ace. So I have four sources underneath it. Cyberjamon Ace is one of them. In the swing, no, I'm sorry, Machinejamon. It was Machinejamon at that point. In the swing, I go 2 checks, unsuspend, whatever. Within the 2 checks was a Melga. So I had to save it. For me to unsuspend again, I would have to strip another 2 sources. And within those 2 sources was a Cyberjamon Ace. And I would have passed turn. So I didn't do that. It stopped me from OTK and winning that turn. The following turn, I ended up losing to Melga. Because new shenanigans is pretty good, you know? Sagittarius, go to your free, what's it called? The dude with the armor. Something Gurumon. Magna Gurumon. That's what it is, the armor form. And then
the fake dog.
Yeah, you swing the 2 checks. You put him back into security and he's able to unsuspend. You play another mat. You do Sagittarius again, Evo for free. And so on. Like I know like Greymon can do it, but it just feels different when Gurumon. I swear to God, versus what Greymon does. Well, anyways, yeah. So that happened, and then game 2, I ended up winning, but I think I almost like made a mistake too in it, but it didn't cost me the game. I ended up just OTKing as well with it at like 4 security. And then game 3, I made the other misplay was that I didn't put the Megajamon, the one that lets you unsuspend, at the bottom source, and I used it as the on play effect of it to like get rid of his Goblin, because my whole thinking was I'm gonna get rid of this Gabumon, but I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of this Gabumon except this one. Mind you, I had the OG Megajamon that pops 3 kilo lower, so like I could have switched them, and they would still would have done the same exact thing, and I could have unspent multiple times. So the play would have been swing with the Machinejamon, do the 2 checks, pop itself, trash that Megajamon as a bottom source, unsuspend, Evo the Chaos Shamon, and then bring it back and then swing, unsuspend, swing. I didn't do that like a dumbass, honestly, and I ended up losing the following turn because
he couldn't kill that turn.
It might have been one more turn, honestly. I don't remember, but he stunned my whole board, so like it didn't matter. And so that ended up costing me the game, and I was just like so annoyed at myself because like I should have known, but it was like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not I haven't been playing as consistently as I used to recently, and so maybe I'm just like misplaying stuff because I like, you know, when you're playing consistently, you know the plays, you don't need to like overthink it. Maybe like I was overthinking it. Maybe I was just overly tired because the night before I didn't get home to like dumb late, but that's neither here nor there. And I don't know. I gotta get back into the lab, especially with new regional season. I'm confirming now I'm not going to Nats. So whoever wants to see me in Dallas or DGU in general, unfortunately I won't be there. So I'm definitely going to be grinding again for regionals moving forward for next year's Nats. Well, no, not next year's. The season 2 Nats.
Season 2, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it went. And then I got 2nd place from there.
And how was your short little regional run?
I don't even want to talk about it. That's how bad it was. Well, I guess I'll mention. Since you mentioned it, I'll talk about it. I played Digimon because I didn't know what else to play at that moment. It was a spur of the moment. I woke up and they were like, "Hey, waitlist, you can join." So I joined. I didn't think I was gonna get in because I was like 75th on the list, and it was like 35 spots to like do the math, you know. I wasn't expecting to get in, so I signed up. I ended up getting in, and I was like, "Well, Omni's easy to play. I can probably like run through the gauntlet with it, no problem." And so, and then I also had to miss round 1, unfortunately, because I was doing something in my house and needed my time, and I couldn't get done prior to 11, so I had to auto lose round 1. So I finally get to play round 2. I figured, I'm X1 now. It shouldn't be too bad. I could probably, do well or something. And round 2, I played against Adventure. I won that one 2-1. He won game 1. I didn't see any pieces. And the correct pieces, I should say. And he blitzed me with promo War Greymon with that deck. Did like 3-4 checks at a time. And then I ended up losing because of that. Game 2, I went Alter S combo. Alter S into Alter S game. And then game 3, I went to Alter S. And then I went into a CS Omni or something like that. And I'm getting a game. So cool. Feeling good. Round 2 win. Round 3, I play against Red Purple Imperial. I lost that 2-0. Game 1, she went first. She evoed in the back, played Analog Youth, had the most perfect trash off the Analog Youth, I guess. I don't remember. I can't tell you exactly what the cards were at the moment. But
I'll tell you what the cards were. I'll tell you what the cards were. If you said it was the perfect trash, that means they hit the BT16 Wormmon and they hit a Pyojimon, and everything else is irrelevant. Because everything else they evo from hand. Because your full combo, all you need is I assume they had something in raising, right?
Yeah, they evo and raising.
Right. So you raise, digivolve one body plays out the other body, which is typically the BT16 worm, and then that says on play digivolve, and then you digivolve, and now you get to DNA into the Dino Bee, and then the Dino Bee plays out the Pyojimon, then you pass the turn, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get the swing in, and then at the end of the attack, then you can DNA into the Dragon mode, and then the Dragon mode goes into the Fighter mode, then you get the Floodgate effect, you get the Pop effect, and then they get the whole combo. Then they kill themselves, and then they do it all over again because BT16 worm. Yes.
So basically that part is up to killing herself because she had to pass her like within the first Evo or something like that. I don't remember. First 2 Evos, I should say. So she did that. And
luckily, she didn't have enough memory.
FM did his thing. Fortunately for me, or unfortunately, it was nothing in security for me to play out because that's how my day was. And so I go and couldn't do anything about it. Did I answer that same turn or the following turn? I want to say I waited one more turn because I didn't have something. So she did her thing. She swung. I'm at like 1 security or something like that. And then the following turn, I answered the FM. So I go into Alter S, I think it is. I kill the FM. She goes into the 2 pieces. I clear it. I go into maybe like something else. Maybe I didn't go into. Maybe I think I had to leave it on that because I was like, I need to recover. So, I know what it was because it was I think the on play War Gray or something that popped one of them. I know I didn't keep her with everything from the partition. So it was something like that. And then she had something in raising. So what happened was basically I ended up having a War Gray and a Melga with Miraculous, and I had Omni Ace. So in my head, I'm like, no matter which way she does, I'm going to Omni her twice on her turn, and I should be good. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'll be good. No problem. Bottom decking things, yada, yada, yada. And she played that shit smart as AF. I'm not going to lie. Because she knew that she knew it had the security, so I let it swing. I let it go through, no problem. Whatever she swung with dies, cool. She then goes into the DNA plays, and then plays out the one that says like on delete, you DNA instead. Yep. So once that happened, I was like, all right, cool. We'll do. However I did it was I think I went Omni Ace first, and I bottom decked something. I think she baited it out first. That's what it was. So did that. I'm like, cool. She got nothing again. There's nothing she could do right now. Mind you, she has 9 memory though. I had to give her a lot of memory the turn to pass before. So I just put her down to something, and then she went triple Analog Youth. the fourth analog U was insecurity. So her stack was like, you know, a lot. She had a lot going. So like it didn't matter. She hard played the stuff, redid it again. I go DNA. I block with Omni Ace or something like that. And then she goes, because she kept playing the correct versions. I was so like, I was impressed, but also sick. I was like, God damn it. Because she did that. She swings with the Pyojimon that says like on delete DNA. So boom. All right, cool. I choose. So now she does the drag mode that says I choose which one to delete and then keep the other one. So I had a War Gray on board. So I go, all right, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to miraculous this now. Going to CS Omni. We're going to bomb deck it. Cool. Something happens where I bottom deck something and then she DNA'd again because she had the other the Dino Beam on now. I was just like, I have to do this though and hope to God she doesn't have it. And she had it. I was like, F. And I go block, and then she still swings through everything. I was like, you play that smart. You got that, you know? And then game 2, I saw nothing. I had all the tamers in the world and not a single Omnimon to do anything with. And she had no dragon modes, but it didn't matter because she just swarmed the board and I just lost because I never saw an Omnimon. I was like, fantastic. Cool. We're X2 now. Let's, you know, try to win the next one. Round 4, I think it is. Yeah. I played against Mastamon. I go, this is cake. I ain't worried about this. I win round 1 because I think it's cake. It doesn't help when you brick 2. So whatever. And he went to promo Massey game 1, but didn't like trash he didn't put my tamer into security and trashed it. So I was highly confused at first. I was like, oh, maybe it doesn't do what I thought it did. Maybe it like misses somewhere. I don't know what the effect fully was at that moment. And he didn't do it. So I went Omni like Ultra S twice or something like that and then went for game. And then game 2, I saw nothing. I kept searching and I could not find Nokia. And he kept sending my tie and mask to the security and trashing it. I was like, this is so annoying, but all right. And then promo Massey gets alliance from somewhere. I don't remember where, doing 2 checks, did it like 2-3 times. And I'm like, and I try to deal with it in other ways, like with War of Greymon or something. Like I was legit just hard evoing, or I hard play the War of Grey. I don't remember what it was. Like I was giving up a lot of memories to do certain plays just because I was trying to like contain the board from losing. And then it wasn't like I had Mirai or Nokia popping out security. Nothing. And so I ended up losing game 2, and in game 3 it was the same thing. I'm just like, this is so frustrating because I don't remember what it was. I probably didn't see the Melga, I think it was on that one, or like War Gray. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter if I have Omni in my hand because what's this going to do for me when I don't have the megas to evo into or something like that? I don't remember fully. And then I was letting him go into promo Massey so early because I was just so behind that he just kept sending away my tamers. So when you send away the tamers, guess what? I can't do anything anyway. So I ended up losing that one. And then I dropped out because I'm X3 at that point and there's no chance of me topping with that.
Sounds like you had a tough day there, buddy.
Oh, yeah. And I did something I played another game the following day. It was just as bad. I was like, I'm giving up on Omnimon. It's just, you know what? I can't. I just can't because like I'm just so breaking like crazy. I was just like, I don't understand like the ratio sometimes, like not the ratios, but like the percentages of how certain bricks happen. When I have like triple Nokias on the bottom half of the deck, with the 4th Nokia probably like 3-4 cards past them, is like, how is this possible? I'm shuffling like everybody else. You know, I shuffle just like anyone else does. Why do these cards get stuck together like this? It's so crazy. And then I had another game where I'm like one of the games I didn't see Omnimon. I go like look into my deck. It's like midway through. It's like Ultra S, CS Omni, the Omni Ace, back to back to back. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Well, I'm not going to see them. There's three of them right there with one of them in security. I couldn't do anything about it. You know, like it was just like one of those things. It's just like it was super frustrating on it. I was like, whatever, we're gonna put you away for now and then play something else.
Yeah, let's talk about the optics of shuffling for a bit. I had the same problem in GA at one of the events I went to. Me and my opponent were looking at my deck, and so I run 8 Graceful Charities, and I quite literally had 5 Graceful Charities stacked on the bottom third of my deck. Within a 6-card span, there were 5 Graceful Charities. And I was like, how is this possible? Like, this just doesn't, like, how? And at the time, I was getting in my head a little bit because I was like, I was doing all these different shuffles. Like, I stopped pile shuffling, right? And I had these problems where I wouldn't open with my Graceful Charities. And I was like, all right, let me just do some pile shuffles, see if I can like split up where they're sitting and try to get them in hand. So after the pile shuffle, I would do my mash shuffle. And I think I would do, I don't think I did enough of them. I think I just did like a certain amount. And if you like look at like the math and the statistics of like shuffling, there is a certain amount of shuffles you should do to be sufficiently randomized, right? The goal isn't necessarily to break up like the clumps and everything, but there is a certain amount of shuffles you should do to be sufficiently randomized from your last match. And I feel like I've since fixed my problems. I haven't played in an event since, but I feel like I've since fixed most of my problems. But that was like weird. And I was playing that with katanas because I was debating prior to going into the tournament. I was like, do I want to play this with my oversleeves? Do I want to play this with dragon shields? Or do I want to play this with katana? And I decided not to go with my oversleeves because my oversleeves make the deck too big. So I was like, all right, I'll condense a little bit. I'll rock katanas. And I always double sleeves my decks because I like the space that double sleeving cards give you. For me, it helps me get some more separation between the cards. But I didn't like how the katanas felt when I was shuffling, I'll be honest. It also, like, it was okay in the beginning. I feel like they wore out so fast. After that event, I was playing with it for a little bit, and I just felt like I was sticky, like not like hard sticky, but I switched back to my dragon shields that I was using prior, and I've had these dragon shields for a minute now, and they just glided. They didn't feel like they had any problems going at all. It's different for everyone. But there's such personal choices in the way that you shuffle and the sleeves that you use. Is crazy when we look at the statistics of how likely this stuff is to actually occur when it actually does happen to us. And for Dan, more so than anybody else, because it's been plaguing Dan since the existence of his time in the Digimon. God. Like, it never failed. So if you guys have tips for shuffling, you should throw them down in the comments for Sir Daniel here and let him know how he shuffled. Tell him he needs to go double sleeve his decks. That's first and foremost. And I think that's the biggest thing. Dan needs to start double sleeving his decks. He's not a double sleever. He doesn't believe in the double sleeve, and he needs to join the double sleeve crew, the DSC. You know what I mean?
Wow. Hey, my good tops and my good regional ulti cup tops, all those games I rarely ever break. Just I wish I could do that every single fucking region, I swear.
I'm telling you, you just need to hit the double sleeve crew, man. You got to eliminate the Dan factor, okay? Once you eliminate the Dan factor of shuffling, you're good. You're golden, baby. Hit the DSC with me. Double sleeve for life. You'll never go back, trust me. Just some Dragon Shield inners makes your life so much easier, bro. You're a 50 card deck. It makes it so much better to shuffle. Gotta believe. Trust, bro, trust. Anyways, let me talk to you guys about something very important. It's been coming for a while now, and I'm about to surprise Dan with it. It's this segue to our sponsors. I'm sorry. Our segue to our sponsors, our sponsor being us. We are doing things. We're trying to do things. We just released this new video called Wheel of Digimon. Wheel of Digimon episode 1 is officially up and live for the public. Episode 2 is now live to all of our YouTube members. And Wheel of Digimon will be releasing on a weekly basis. Every time a new episode goes live to the public, a new episode goes live to our YouTube members. So if you want to be amongst the first to see this new Wheel of Digimon series, make sure to join our YouTube membership, link in the description, where you will be able to see the Wheel of Digimon a week before anybody else sees it. The same thing with our podcast. Our podcast, generally speaking, drop a week earlier than they come out. So typically we record these on a Monday night and we have a podcast go up on that same week, Friday, from the previous week. If you are a YouTube member, you will see this week's or next week's podcast early. You'll get it a whole week early. There are some other stuff we're working on to try to make the YouTube membership more worth it for you guys. I think it's like $5 a month is where we have it at. Of course, you know, being a YouTube member, you get like a discount to our shop that I currently have not. I wouldn't suggest going on our website right now. I'll be totally honest with you. Our Google ads are like overrunning the website and I haven't fixed it yet. But you do get a discount for being a YouTube member. And we want to work on some other cool things to make it worth being a YouTube member. If you guys are YouTube members, you have any suggestions for things you would like us to do or things you would like to see, please do let us know in the comments down below. But yes, we are our own sponsor for today. So make sure you check us out. And I want to take this time to just shout out and give a kudos to our current YouTube members, something I'm going to try to remember to do every pod because I am very forgetful. Our YouTube members for 16 months, we've got Saxon. For 15 months, Ryan. 15 months, Cloud. 12 months, John. 16 months, our editor, Literal Lucas. For 1 month, the Supreme Kai. For 1 month, Silver Blue Mando. And 18 days, Cuedesmo. Destimo. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting us. We are trying to do more things to make it worthwhile for you guys to choose to support us. So once again, appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And with that being said, let's move on to our comments or review, in which we've gotten quite a bit of them. Some off of our Wheel of Digimon episode and some from our side decking pod. So from our Wheel of Digimon, JC saying this is a great series. Saxon, absolutely love this. Pachu Pakua saying, yes, we finally have a wheel series in the community. Let me cook, saying, bro, absolutely pumped about the series. Not enough Digi creators make videos like this. Good looking boys. My life as Thomas, this is what the space has been missing. Stoked for the series for sure. B-Boy Stunna, I definitely enjoyed this matchup in series. It hurt my heart when Dan didn't warp his poor blocker Agu into BT14 Wargrare in game 2, since he had Tai on board. And Venom Myotis was 10k higher. He says he looks forward to more. And then Sensual Amber, dude was so close to building Mimi Rosemon. Don't worry, we've got more episodes coming out. So stay tuned. Some really great community reception for the Wheel of Digimon series. I am very happy to see that. It is something, when we tell you guys it's been in the works for months. Dan, how long was Wheel of Digi in the works for? It's been over like a year and a half now, right?
Look, I had long hair back then.
Yo, that's a fact. Wheel of Digi it's been a project, and we're glad you guys are finally able to see it. One of the biggest parts about it is the editing that goes into it, because both Dan and I record our gameplay, as you guys will have seen, or if you haven't seen it, you will see. So going back and forth and syncing up the videos to see the gameplay from both people's perspective is the biggest and most tenuous part about editing Wheel of Digi. So shout out to Literal Lucas for being able to get that done. And we are excited for you guys to see many more. This is going to be, I anticipate, maybe about somewhere between 10 to 15 episodes per season. I think the max would be 15 episodes because the first one to 7 wins. So the max is 14 then. And it can be as little as 7, as much as 14.
13. So max would be whoever wins 7.
13, yes. Yeah. So a minimum of 7, max of 13. We are currently at 4 recorded. We're going to be recording more soon, so don't worry, stay on the lookout. It's coming weekly basis. Hit that subscribe button so that y'all know when those episodes come out. But moving on to the comments from our side decking pod. Hey, B Dunback said, would love to see you guys come to Pittsburgh and get your cheeks kicked in. LOL, love the podcast, all love. Listen, Mike is moving out to Pittsburgh soon. Soon you're going to be able to lay the smackdown on Mike on a weekly basis if he decides to play Digimon, because knowing him, he's going to play Gundam. He's going to play One Piece. But maybe you'll be able to lay the smackdown on Mike on a weekly basis. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Mox Moonstone had a bunch of comments. I'll highlight a couple of them in no particular order, because I'm just looking at this like chronologically in the way that comments were written. Off the rip, sideboards are an absolute no for me. The game is cleaner not having a sideboard, and they always degenerate to whatever the closest thing to auto win silver bullet piles that benefit the best decks far more than the average deck. It takes a lot of skill to know when to dedicate a main deck spot to improving a matchup, and we draw enough cards in the game that more often than not, you'll see a well-placed answer if you need. Sideboards primarily slow down games and create sacky states with relatively low skill gameplay in the actual games. Sure, it's somewhat interesting to know what to bring into a matchup, but that's just spreadsheet gaming boring. So I will partially disagree, and I'll disagree on the basis of Grand Archive. Grand Archive is a game, sorry y'all are going to hear me talk about Grand Archive on our Digimon pod. I've been playing it for the last 3 months, stable. It's been out for about 2 years. They have a sideboard. They run 60-minute rounds, best of 3. And I can definitely say that having sideboards does not make that game degenerate. There are silver bullet things, but nothing is really a silver bullet, I win this matchup. And one thing I said in that podcast was Digimon isn't a game that was designed for sideboards, meaning that when the developers design cards, they don't really design things thinking like, oh, this would be like great in the sideboard. And I think that's a design philosophy to have, whether it's in the back of a developer's mind or it's something they actively think about, because there are a lot of cards in Grand Archive that are sideboard worthy. And sure, a lot of sideboards can end up looking the same, but you have so much more that you can include in a deck in GA for any given deck, for any matchup that you want, that nothing is necessarily I win this matchup. So GA is my biggest example for it doesn't always degenerate to that, but I think for Digimon, again, the problem is we do have silver bullet cards, right? I can tell you right off the bat that like if I was playing, I played Royal Knights against Kaguya last week, and I immediately sat there thinking, man, this can potentially get out of hand really quick. I wish I had a Dexmon. To the point that, yeah, I do consider playing Dexmon at 2 in Royal Knights because Kaguya can be so problematic for me. And of course, like it would help me in like Adventure and maybe a couple other matchups as well. If we had a sideboard, yeah, I mean, there's no shot that Dexmon would not be one of the cards in my sideboard. Medieval is at 1 in my main deck, and I can also guarantee that I'd be running at least 1 to 2 extra copies of Medieval. And I would also say that Imperial Paladin mode would also be somewhere at 1 to 2 copies, because the nature of how Digimon's cards are, like, yes, we do have a lot more cards that have such a heavy matchup swing. I'll read a couple more comments before I let Dan take the board in response to some of these comments. B Dunback says, what frustrates me in this conversation about side decking, it's always a perpetual loop of whether side deck should be allowed or not. There are rules you can help with that. Yes, of course. Yes, there are. It's the circle of I don't know and don't know until we test it. Game is healthy, but the idea that it makes top decks higher and lower decks lower, I don't fully agree with, and Varney might have just been playing devil's advocate. Just seeing how he talks about top tier deck gap could potentially get larger from tier 1 to tier 2. Then it speaks about Royal Knights struggling against floodgates is frustrating because I see a lot of players who are anti-siding, and they have these same arguments. Prinny says the point I think everyone is brushing over is if a sideboard is put in, you have time constraints. You're already organizing 2 different decks already in a best of 3, and now you gotta add in more for deciding what card to put in for what matchup. Sometimes you need to think about what to do while on the match clock, which will lead to unnecessary stress. Matches are already pretty short. Yeah, if sideboards were introduced, I would definitely say the clock needs to go from what is 45, I believe it's 45 in person, 50 online, to an hour for both. You would definitely need that extra 10 to 15 minutes. And honestly, I'm not necessarily sure if I'm, if I'm the biggest fan of that. This is the big one here. Netter says he disliked instead of liking. Don't dislike the video, like the video. Also to comment, I had to try blah blah blah. Side decking. Here we go. Side decking helps more the rogue and tier 2 decks. Yes, it helps tier 1, but less so. So you can limit side decking slots to 5 to 10. You don't have to do 15, which makes those top decks be more careful about what they add and what to use. Side decking lets those who like to deck build shine more and make skillful plays and show the skill and understanding of the game shine more through. Also, it helps those who have pet decks go up against the meta. And like you said in the video, you are not always drawing those anyways. There is a chance for you to not draw your stuff or your opponent their stuff, even from main. Not every deck needs to beat every deck. Some have clear answers, some don't. Side decking lets rarely used cards shine. Your point at 59 minutes, I have no idea what point that was, but the point that we made at 59 minutes on the last video is the reason why I like side decking both ways. You can have answers inside for those situations. Dan has good counterpoints, and I agree with him there. At an hour 30, your points are my points why side decking works and is a good option. At an hour 40, something that Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Shown that the gaps between the best decks and the tier 2 decks get smaller because of the answers they get from side. And it loops back again to the point, it promotes good deck building and lets underused cards shine. As for a 50 card deck, I like the fact that you have 50. It's restricting in how you want to build and still feel like you have flex spots in your deck. Some decks are more rigid on the structure deck builds, and personally, someone who plays all the card games, it feels like a good middle ground. Alias, I really disagree with a side deck unless we get a really big ban restriction list, because then every deck just throws 4 medieval and decks in the side, and the rest will be other floodgates. That sounds like the problem I have with Yu-Gi-Oh!, where it's just staple stun galore, make them play stuff in the main and get rewarded for meta calls. Same with trainings, just get rid of the mono-colored ones. When all of the dual-color ones are printed, mono decks can run 9. That is not good for the game. The huge issue with side decking is that the Japanese format, this by Tesmic, is a best of 1 format, and that's probably why. Yes, heavily agree. Bandai so far based all their decisions on Japan's best of 1 format. But by and large, I don't see Bandai bothering to make rules for different regions and then let us have the same ban list. At that point, they may as well have 2 ban lists. I definitely don't see them bothering with that. Again, I also play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, and my experience is that side decking just turns into a pile of generic staples that helps your deck. This includes the meta decks, so yeah, you can have your Psychmon, but the decks you run up against also get the same benefit. Next is cost. And cost is definitely a big thing. If every deck has a side deck, it means generic cards become scarcer and more expensive, which makes the game less attractive to new players. I don't want to have the Digimon equivalent of needing a playset of every floodgate or utility card for every deck I own, because the game doesn't do reprints with enough frequency, which I think is probably the bigger argument to talk about as well. The lack of reprints in the game is appalling, and not even the frequency, but the fact, right, that LM6 Another Night or whatever it's called, right, Dan? We're not even getting that until when? Sure. Like freaking March? Like what? I'm gonna drop my first F-bomb. What in the actual fuck is that? That is so asinine. Like it's so asinine, it's so infuriating, because it's like, we don't need to be waiting 7+ months for these cards to drop. These are cards that we should be able to have within 3 months. I hate waiting 7 months for that. And that is going to be That's one of my least favorite parts about the game. You could also just as easily argue if you're good at deck building, you don't need to side deck to win. It's why arguing skill is redundant. Nags, at the end of the day, Bandai cares about best of one meta. Side decking ups game time and deck costs, increased demand for cards with limited supply. Finally, side deck is the ultimate "I would have won if" argument. And as Varney said, you could just argue you could run those in main deck. As for the pros, it lets you experiment with cards, justify buying more sleeves, and lets you rage harder when you side deck and then don't draw the cards you sided in. Delay pre-watch comment from Renegade. Side decks would do the game extremely well. Would have to be 8 to 10 cards, and it would help out so much, especially with how the game design has been going and engines are getting built-in floodgate removal, so they don't have to make choices while deck building. Red Purple Imperial, BT21 Growl as examples, but if you want to put a floodgate in, it has to take away actual deck space, so the only ones punished are the ones choosing to run them. It also adds an additional layer to deck building and preparing for the meta, because you have to build the best 58 card deck and then take the least impactful 8 cards for game 1. This is an old Magic thing, where you essentially build a 75 card deck and cut out the worst 15 for game 1. Everything has been going to a no feel bads for game design, it feels like, so you don't get punished unless you brick. There's not much good back and forth anymore. It's here's my unaffected boss Mon and you're dead. I think the thing, this is by, oh gosh, Cold Chaos. All right, there we go. I think the thing that's frustrating me in particular about this conversation is that all sideboard options are just things that let your opponent stop playing the game. I don't think the frequency of seeing cards that tell your opponent no in a game where currently one of its biggest criticism is increasing the amount of cards that don't let you interact or play the game is a very good idea, and I don't think that type of skill expression is very interesting, unless Digimon was inherently designed with more layered interactions as base mechanics instead of leaving those mechanics to card effects. If the game was slower and people had more time to answer stuff like floodgates for more interesting plays, maybe I changed my mind, but doing that involves removing stuff that initially took up room for floodgates, etc. in the first place. Could you sideboard? Yes, but I don't really think it makes the game any better than just moving heads around on the meta pie chart every week, if at all. Stuff like that is just not interesting to me, and it doesn't address my actual issue, which is how it is played sometimes. And that is, I can't read this one. This one. Hold on. I don't even know what these points are that we were making. I did get somebody to agree with me though, Dan. Someone said, Wolfhorn said, I don't like agreeing with a Royal Knights player because I am a dirty, disgusting Royal Knights player. But Vorney is the voice of reason on this. Dan wants the game to be either you win by not letting your opponent play the game, or you just don't play the game because your opponent doesn't let you play the game. There's no skill expression in sideboarding. It's what decks will I run into and what are the best cards to put, as Varney stated. The fact that you have a limited amount of slots in main deck makes setting tech cards so much more important. Royal Knights and Dark Animal has an easier time because they're already free playing stuff. For Dark Animal, you can just loop the same floodgate. Digimon is not a game that is designed for a side deck, as Varney said. Over the weekend, I got top 32 with Vimperial at the Unsung Regional. Congrats. I had to spend hours contemplating what 3 cards I can feasibly swap out for tech cards if I run into certain matchups. Those cards only ever came up in one match, and it wasn't even for the deck it was intended for. The only answers for Sakuya is to either run Floodgate Gauss, so they can't reduce Digievolution, or run Digimon Emperor, have it on field, and then play Emergency Program Shutdown, unless you're a deck that has a white source. Or run a deck that is just completely unaffected by your opponent's effects and has the ability to redirect. But even then, it requires you to know exactly what you need when it's happening, because Sakuyamon pops off, you know damn well they're going to have all the answers for your board, thanks to them just being able to draw 9 cards from a single combo. So, Dan, based on all of what I said, I'll let you take the floor in responses to some of the stuff. If you need me to go back over anything, let me know. I know I said a lot, I'm sorry.
The only person that I somewhat agree with, and that wasn't on my side about side decking, was the time constraint. That's the only thing I'm like, all right, I understand that more than anything than anyone else's complaints about, especially the one that says, oh, Dan wants to make it you either win or whatever nonsense. No. I want to make it where everyone has a chance, no matter what, if the matchup is bad or not. Because if you're a hybrid, example, if you're a hybrid player or a cross-hard player, what do you do when you run into Galacticamon? Because all they're going to do is blow up your Tamers and call it a day. Like, why is it not okay for them to have something that can side deck to help them win against that type of matchup? You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I'm on the that's where like my thought process is. Like obviously, you're a tier 1 deck. Some tier 1 decks don't necessarily need it versus they're gonna try out whatever the other tier 1 decks are, and then they might not even like know about a rogue deck, and a rogue deck is prepared for those tier 1 decks, and then that's how the rogue player went because they over prepped for the tier 1 strategies, and they were able to top because of that. And that's skill impression. That's skill expression. That's something you could do.
Yeah.
Like that's where like some of those things that the people are complaining about when it comes to having side decks and why it's bad for the game. I don't know if that's necessarily a correct thing to say that's a bad thing about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so I agree with you there. Like, yes, cross should definitely have an like. One person said, I don't remember who it was, but they said, not every deck needs to win against every deck. That is very true. Agreed. I also don't like when you come up against a certain matchup and you just know that it's like, well, if I play this one matchup, that's it. I just gotta cut my losses because there is like literally, unless like I have Yggdrasil on my side, there's nothing I can do. And we should be able to help those matchups. But the more that like I read comments and the more that like I saw both the arguments for and against side decking, it really is for me. I don't mind side decking, but it does require this game to go through a design change. And I was watching a Mario video today, and he said, well, one thing he would do to like if he were to fix game state or game speed, what he would do is he would like basically get rid of everything that says my opponent can't play the game, and most of the things that say like what's it called? Do things for free. Not necessarily do things for free, but like the amount of like cheap chain, like for example, like Sukuyamon doing full loop combo into level 6, not even just level 6, right? Because it's like level 7. If we look at like the Liberator decks, right? The Liberator decks have to play essentially a fair game. Sendril, or sorry, Puppets is one of the better Liberator decks right now because it has a level 5 that says pop something Evo for free, right? Even as good as not Marine Bullmon. Wait, actually, it's Arimon. That's what I'm thinking of. Arimon's really good, but Fish doesn't have anything else that really like lets them do things cheap and easy to get into their level 7. And I was definitely on the train, and I still think I'm still on the train that I think Fish is a very good deck, but it doesn't have any results to show for it, especially after this weekend's regionals, especially comparing to some other decks. So generally speaking, the idea of getting rid of cards that, if we apply that argument to side decking, if we get rid of the cards that say my opponent can't play the game, because like what would you put in to interact with a ruin, right? Like I think that's the big thing to consider. Or you would put a ruin mode in your side deck because you're like, I'm gonna come up against, let's say you are playing Galactic, right? And you come up against Cross. You already know you have a good matchup into Cross, and let's say Cross is in the meta. What would you side deck for Cross? Probably nothing.
If you're Galactic,
yeah,
you don't care about that because you're the one with the dominating.
Exactly,
matchup.
And you would at most, if you were going to say like I'm going to put something in this side deck for Cross, you would just want to cuck them a little bit more, and you would put in the cost reducing floodgate for Cross. Sure. They'll probably have something like I'm sure they have many ways in archetype to be able to pop that floodgate. But then they want something else to try to deal with the Galactic. I don't know off the top of my head what they would use to deal with Galactic. But, luckily Galactic isn't purple or yellow adjacent, right? Because then Galactic could also just be like, oh, I'll just try to do a ruin mode and make it so that like their little bodies can't do anything. Or even if they are doing something with their bigger bodies, it doesn't really affect me or something along those lines. And I think that argument of like removing cards that kind of like say no to your opponent is a good thing. Dexmon, I'm fine with. I think I've always thought that Dexmon was a fine and fair card. Medieval, I can see the argument for getting rid of Medieval to put in the sideboard. You have to agree with me on that. You have to. you have to agree with me on the basis of Medieval being a card that everybody would put into their sideboards, because why would you not play Medieval? Like, not everybody would put Dexmon into their sideboards, right? Dexmon's a good card, but not everybody would put it into their sideboards. But what reason would you have to not put Medieval in every sideboard?
Okay. I mean, that's fine for Medieval, yes, at sideboard. I thought you like, were explaining something else. Sorry.
I'm kind of like in between like 2 points, but I'm talking about like, if we were to introduce sideboarding into the game, we would have to change or get rid of some of the cards in the current game. And also the dev team would have to change the way they design cards, because they don't currently design with the intention of things being put into the sideboard, which for better or for worse, whether, you know, one way or the other, it can lead to either intended or unintended interactions, right? That's why I say like Medieval, I can definitely say that if we got sideboards, Medieval's a card that should probably just be gone, right? Ruin mode, it's tough. Yes.
Well,
because
all right, continue.
Yeah, Medieval is a card that should be gone, because why would you not play Medieval in your sideboard?
Yeah.
That's the point, right? Why should everybody play Medieval and get into this like, oh well, I guess I'll just play it. I'll side out whatever this card is, and I'll just put Medieval in because this card is dead in this matchup. So I'll just put Medieval in. Then everybody's putting Medieval in. Then you just Medieval the Medieval and Medieval the Medieval, and then like it ends up just not doing anything, right? It just creates this like toxic sort of little gameplay. And that's just looking at Medieval.
I don't know. I don't know. About that. I'm not trying to continue the argument of a side deck, because I can continue for the next hour I want to. I'll say this on this point.
We can have side decking part 2 on another pod.
Like, if you were to, my thought on Medieval, no matter what, is you're going Medieval when you're in a losing situation, so you're in a bad situation. Like, if you go Medieval for 7, great, thanks for the memory, so I can out your Medieval.
Not necessarily. Medieval. So like, my opponent, I was playing against Bizky, and he was playing Sakuya. Was it? No, sure. Sorry, Galactic. And he gave me 6 memory. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't have a way to drop Medieval for 7 at the time, because mind you, I was playing Raw Knights, because he had to suspend the Galactic. So I had to drop a body for free off of Yggdrasil. And so I dropped Oryukin Ace, and then I dropped an Omekamon for 4. And then I handed him 5 memory after I dropped the Medieval, putting him to 5. And what Medieval gives me, cool, I can pop your Galactic stack now, and then when you play your thing out, the first thing you play, I'm going to delete. And then after that, yes, you can do whatever you want. And I believe he might have went up to like 6 or 7 memory after like the Zeniths, but he played something out, went down to maybe like 3 to 4. I popped it, obviously. And then it's like, okay, cool. Now you really have like 3 to 4 memory to play with to do whatever your play is. And sure, he put another Galactic on board, but Galactic doesn't matter because what's it called? Ragnarok Cannon only pops lowest play cost, so it's not going to get rid of the Medieval. You can't touch the Medieval. There's no way for Galactic to deal with Medieval trying to chew through my board at what it was at the time. So my Medieval just stuck on board. I was like, okay, cool. Next turn, play something, suspend Galactic, pop again. And that was me running Medieval at 1, where I used to run it at 2. If I was side decking, like if I'm going to play against Galactic, first of all, you know, I have my Silver Bullet cards to help me with Galactic coming in. But we're not even talking about the Silver Bullet, just the Medieval alone. It's not always played in a losing situation. Like most times, yes, sure. But it's also used for situations like that, where it's just like, okay, cool. Like you're probably not going to be able to deal with this. And should Galactic have a better out to it? Sure. Yeah. Every deck should have a better out to it. But if we even just remove Medieval from that situation to begin with and make it so that decks need a little bit more creativity in their answers to be able to deal with certain cards, I think that promotes healthier gameplay than just everybody includes Medieval, which I think is like the majority of what most people are trying to say. It's not necessarily against side decking because of like side decking being bad for the game. It's more about the game not being ready for side decking, which is my big thing about side decking. But yes, we can have another podcast on side decking sometime down the ways. We're at almost an hour. Nice. We're at the perfect point for us to start talking about EX10 because guess what? It is officially, what did we let Dan, like a week away?
2 weeks.
2 weeks away from EX10 release. And we've got some fun stuff to go over. This is I'm going to call this set the set of Dan because it's all the villain stuff and Dan's the villain. So the only thing I want to say is, holy wow.
For the next whole hour, you guys don't get to listen to anything Tavarni has to say now. Just literally the Dan show.
The one thing I'll talk about is our nice new Rock 7 metallic. Sorry, it's not metallic Dramon. I keep thinking it's metallic Dramon. What is it called? Magnetic Dramon.
Magnetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so unique.
The only non-villain in the villain set.
Is it really? No, you have. Oh, I guess Gamamon's a villain. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in that aspect, because he's
in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the only non-villain.
Black War Greymon an anti-hero. Sure.
The anti-hero.
He becomes an anti-hero in, version 2. And same with Beals.
I have to say, I am very happy that they did give Black War Greymon a line. I'm very happy about that.
Same.
But yeah, all right. So I'll talk about rocks real quick. So we have a new line for rocks. Goodness gracious, we needed it. End an attack on a tumble. So we got basically a control aspect to the deck, which is really nice because the deck was made as rock OTK, but it really has legs, in my opinion, as sort of like a mid-range style of deck. Is that they gassed up rock OTK, and I always looked at it like, how the hell are you doing an OTK? Oh, I guess you can do an OTK, but the amount of work you need to go through for an OTK is kind of insane. So we got a tumble that says end an attack when you trash it. A new Sunariza that refills source, which is really good. We got a Landramon giving reboot blocker 3k DP. We've got a, Prognamon giving collision piercing in 3k DP. So if you're doing the line, you're getting piercing, collision, reboot blocker, and 6k DP. Sure, you're trashing cards, but you are buffing yourself up a lot. You okay over there, Dan?
Yeah. Water went
you're
down
buffing.
The tube.
Ooh, this not.
Stop.
You're getting 6k DP and 4 keywords on your new Pyramidi that is going to refill source and then also let you trash source to reduce play cost. Reducing play cost, so nice for this deck because you now have a bunch of sources that say pop play cost 4 or less along with your Digivolve. So now you can basically get rid of anything standing in your way. And then you get to end on this big bad new magnetic Dramon that lets you trash 3 to pop any one of your opponent's Digimon and trash their top security, right in line for what a level 7 should be doing. And then placing a card underneath to unsuspend and be able to do the same thing again. Essentially, this card represents Sec +2. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. This card represents Sec +3 is what this is. Because you're swing, trash 1, do a check, unsuspend, swing, trash 1, do a check. Now this is Rock OTK if you want to talk about Rock OTK. The Magnetic Dramon is a fantastic finisher for the deck. It's even just a fantastic piece to sit on because it has Fragment. There's no reason that you shouldn't just be able to turbo into the rock and then say, cool, I pop anything on your board. And then I also get to unsuspend trash your security and be ignorant. Our new close is basically the thing that every other tamer has been doing. Do something, gain a memory, and then the emblem to Digivolve, reducing cost, play Sunariza close. So I'm really excited for rocks. We finally have a level 7 and it's a banger. I can't wait to build this deck and play it now. I didn't play it before because you could tell that it was just missing that gas, but now you have pieces to let you aggro and pieces to let you play the control game. Magnetic Dramon is a fantastic level 7 for the deck. And honestly, I know we're not going to talk about side decks, and we'll talk about the state of the game in like a future pod. It is a planned topic for an upcoming pod. The way that these Liberator decks are designed, I really like it because they're not indicative of how like a lot of other Digimon decks tend to be designed. I like that these are a lot more sort of tempered, and you can tell like their level 7s are busted, air quotes, so to say, but they're not really busted, right? They're level 7s. They do what a 7 should be doing. A finisher or a game extender or something to really say, yeah, we're at that point in the game where I'm going to close it out very soon. And I like that all the Liberator decks really like push that point forward. We talked about this in the past at some point about like a Liberator only format. I would love to see some sort of Liberator only format when we get a little bit more decks, so that people have a little bit more flavors in what they play. Because I would love to just swing around any Liberator deck if all their level 7s are just gonna follow on the trend of Nyabut, Airy, Magnetic, and what's the one I'm missing, Dan? No, I'm not missing one. We only have 3 of them. Yep. Yeah. So, all right, Dan, take it away. When do you want to go over first?
Not Apmon, that's for sure. Anyways.
Apmon. Honestly,
no,
all right,
we're gonna go with Black War. No, Black War, Greymon.
I was just, okay, all right. This fire art.
Yes,
this fire art. Oh my goodness! If there's, I don't tend to look for chase cards like all that much anymore, but this is definitely one I'm going to get my hands on. This is ridiculous.
I'm spending money on this if I can.
Sasasi killed with this art.
We'll start with the egg and work our way up to the MVP right there. So egg is pretty cool. This gives black base Greymon decks a draw 1, which was super needed. It's all turns when attack target changes, you just draw 1. So when you raid in something, when your opponent blocks, when you block or raid, like I mentioned before, or redirect, whatever it is, you just draw 1. That's super clutch for the deck, honestly. Super good. Now I think just because of this egg alone gives you a reason to play black base Greymon, and I think it's fantastic.
Not just the egg, the entire line.
Yeah, of course, we're gonna get to it. But I'm just saying, because like the issue with black base Greymon decks previously was that there was no draw factor in the deck besides like Agu searches or trainings and stuff. Now you just have a generic search in the deck that you're allowed to, when you do your own combo.
You had this. You were able to draw cards.
No. Do you see what that says? That says opponent's turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, they have to be deleted to draw one.
We had a draw card. It wasn't a good draw card. No, we had a draw card.
No one was playing that crappy egg. All right.
Let me cope.
Moving forward. New Agumon's pretty solid too. So start a main phase, you just grab any virus type Greymon card. Pretty good. So it gives you
virus recursion. Type Greymon is cracked.
Yep. So we have all like the Greymon. Gray X, the one of Gray X is a virus type. So you can recur that. Really, really good. And whatever else you need. This is the new Greymon that has raid on body, and then he can Evo for 2 over Agumon, which is pretty much standard for all Greymon cards nowadays. On play, when Digivolving, you can give 1 Digimon plus 1 Digimon. So you're like, what do you mean just 1? Yes.
Why would you want to give anything 3k DP,
you can give
Dan?
Your opponent's Digimon plus 2k, and we'll get to the why in a bit. But it's super clutch to be able to. He has also a good hair too to be able to all turns plus 1k. I think it is.
Yep.
Metal Greymon, pretty solid too. Being able to have a reboot on body, on play when Digivolving, give one of your opponent's Digimon's collision and start your main phase. This Digimon attacks at end of turn. So no matter what, your opponent is always going to be doing something to either make you redirect or them being forced to your redirect, if that makes sense. So that Koromon draw is live, whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn, which is super good. And then Inherited, I think this is a trap security. Yep. So
Metal Gray X, baby.
Turn, when attack targets changes, if this Digimon has Greymon in his name, trash your opponent's top security card. So cool thing is, if you have, like you said, Black War Greymon X, right?
War Greymon or Metal Greymon X.
You have, no, I was getting there. Metal Greymon X plus this, plus your Black War Greymon X that makes you redirect is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
You're trashing 2 cards just because of that, which is pretty cool. This buffs regular Black War Greymon pretty good. And Gaiomon, if you want to go Gaiomon centric, could be a thing as well. It's pretty cool.
Now we got our big bad, finally, our boy,
the GOAT himself, the cover card. This card is nice. He's a ace card, obviously, raid, reboot, and blocker. So no matter what, you're drawing with that Koromon. Like I'm saying, you're forced to draw no matter what. There's one downside about this deck, and I'll explain to you in a second because you have to get it in a different way. But so on play, when did you all delete one of your opponent's Digimon with play call? One of your opponent's Digimon or tamers with a play cost 7 or less. Downside with that effect is you only blowing up one thing, but the upside is you're blowing up aces. You're blowing up level 6 aces, which is super crucial because like I was just testing Black or Greymon versus I think it was DM, and I could never blow up his level 6 aces because there were 7 costs. Now with this, I can evo into it for free, or with Sagittarius, or not Sagittarius, Alterus, or whatever shenanigans, and blow up another person's ace, gain a bunch of memory, continue doing combos, which is pretty good. And then here is the kicker for the why you want to give your opponent's Digimon plus 3k. All turns, while your opponent has a Digimon with 13k DP or more, your opponent's Digimon effects don't affect this Digimon, and you gain plus 3k. So now you become a 15k B-Stick versus their 13k Digimon or something, or even 14. Mind you, you have other boosts as well in the deck, so you can easily be like 16, 17, and you're going to be able to kill their thing, no problem. Then this is a fantastic control type card. You can also be aggressive if you need to be as well. And you could go into your Gaiomon or Black Warriormon X as well over this ace. So I think it's a pretty good card for all around. Oh, the downside part of what I want to talk about. It's hard to get piercing. So like if you want to be able to gain piercing, you gotta do it in a different way. You have to change up your probably your Metal Greymon ratios, and maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. That's the only downside I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely meant to be a more control deck. I mean, piercing would have made it OP, raid and piercing. Does the BT12 War Greymon, that is raid and
I think that has piercing as an inheritor, if I remember.
I can't remember either. I feel like that got piercing in some way because I know it gains raid for the turn. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if there was something
he has raid on body, that one thing. Let me see. You can also get piercing from the EX1 Metal Greymon.
Yeah, but why would you want to? Why would you
exactly?
Want to play?
Exactly. Let's see. I got it right now. He gains piercing for your Greymon cards. So BT12 Metal Greymon. So if you want to play that,
no, he gains reboot. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? BT12 Metal Greymon.
Oh, Metal Greymon. I thought we were talking about War Greymon.
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean that Metal Greymon's a good play anyways, though.
Yeah, but potentially for sure.
Oh, I'm super excited to play this deck.
It's definitely gonna be a lot of like play testing, trying to lab things to see what works and doesn't work. Because like I said, you can go super control and go like black with this one with Black Warriormon X or something, and then just keep trash security, or potentially a more aggro style with like red ties as well, or something like that. Piercing, like I mentioned, because you're always gonna be able to raid over things. And Gaiomon, Omni X, stuff like that. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see where Greymon.decks go from here.
Yeah, if there's one thing I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for quite a bit in this set, but I've always wanted to play Black War Greymon, and I didn't back when it was popular because I was a dirty yellow enjoyer. So I was the antithesis of everything that Black War Greymon stood for. And now that I am no longer a yellow enjoyer, I can't wait to revel in the sanctity that is the Black War Greymon deck. Come EX10, we are going to be out there. I'm going to have to sell so much because I've been coming to this realization. I got so many max rarity decks. I don't play 3/4 of them. But every time I look at them, I'm like, surely I'll play this. I don't want Black War Grey to be another one of those. I have my Greymon binder ready, though. I just went through it. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Them Hades forces, they about to see the limelight. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Blackboard Greymon Ace a lot though. I think that card is like super unique in terms of like game design. Being able to use the Greymon, give something 3k DP, and then just say, I'm unaffected. And kind of just like laugh in their face because they can't do anything to you by your own effect. It's just so funny. And it's a nice way to make it so that like, because, you know, for what it's worth, like, I don't like, if there's one thing I don't like about Digimon is like every boss monster having removal. And like, sure, this pops like play cost 7 or lower Digimon or Tamer. But I like that it interacts with the board in a way where it's like, cool, I can raid over something, but it doesn't necessarily mean, it opens you up for counterplay in a way a little bit, rather than just like Digivolve and pop something, because why would I not be able to just do that?
For sure.
Creepymon didn't get a line, but Creepymon's
did get a line.
What's his line? Oh, is it just
So
purple base?
I mean, yeah, it's so that Devi and Devimon kind of works for everything, but it has a similar effects.
God, oh right, because this is
the Skull Sata is for him though. The Skull Sata is definitely for him.
Oh right, yeah, I was thinking this is our bum ass Barbamon support. Okay, yeah. So we got a Creepymon. Okay, so I can talk about Creepymon, man. I got you.
Go ahead.
So you remember when I made that Barbamon is trash video?
Yeah.
This is like the exact card that I said that Barbamon should have got. This card is everything. Like this card, like it doesn't do anything for Barbamon, but for Creepymon, this is a fantastic card on like 10 different accounts. Says, all right, cool. If you're at 10 or less cards in trash, let's get to the game plan of having 10 or more cards in trash. So trash 2. But if there are 10 or more, then just gain a memory at starter main. Okay, cool. When attacking, mill a card. You've got Devimon.
Hey,
Where are you?
You know what that's really good for though?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Don't say it.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Duskmon does not need a rookie. Okay?
I mean, yes. I wasn't gonna say that one, but yes, it's perfect. He's the new 4-of. He's 100% new 4-of for.
This is cracked. This is cracked for purple hybrid. Like that's insanely good. Are you gonna say it was on the tip of my tongue and it slipped away.
Better say yes.
Myotismon?
Yeah, he's definitely. But no, one more name. You're missing another one. You're missing another one.
What am I missing? Hold on.
Devimon.
Oh, no.
Devimon.
I refuse to play Don Devi until they give us a new, better Don Devi, because that last Don Devi they gave us was such a disgrace. It was like hold on. Now you got me on one. Hold on. Let's bring it up here. So this Don Devi, awesome. I love this Don Devi. This card, fantastic. Yeah, it costs 4 to Digivolve. This could be really good, right? It could be. But this Don Devi? What the hell is this?
Hey, you get second attack +1 though. And rush.
Whoa. You know what? If they gave us a better Barbamon, I could justify it. But he's not even... Don't get me started. Our Devimon. Devimon's really good. It's starter main and it went Digivolving, so you're going to get it one way or the other. If you 10 or fewer, mill 2. If 10 or more, you get to return 1 to hand, a fallen angel or an undead, with a when attacking to mill both. Okay, fantastic. Skull Satamon, you want to know why this card is really good and simultaneously kind of not so good? Let's go talk about a card that where is he? Here we go. Is it right here? Yeah. Let's talk about how can you give us a card that reads to be so good with the trash that you already gave us, right? You gave us trash. Yes, you gave us trash. So let's try to work with the trash, right? Let's try to make the trash a little bit less stinky. But you give us a card that says, oh yeah, sorry, you actually can't use him with Barbamon X because Barbamon X says play cost 7 or less. But you gave him the rule box that he's a fallen angel.
That's hilarious. I didn't even like put that 2 and 2 together. So that's so funny.
Skull Satamon is a freaking fantastic card. When Digivolving and an on deletion, because it has blocker on body, if your opponent has 10 or fewer cards in their trash, mill 3. then pop a level 3 or lower, but if they have 10 or more, you can pop a level 5 or lower. And then when attacking, that if you have 10 or fewer, mill 2, if there are 10 or more, gain sec +1. Do you know what this would have done for Barbamon?
I mean, you can still Evo it, hard Evo into it.
Yeah, you can hard Evo, but you can't play it. So it's just, yeah, exactly. It's never going to be something that's useful when it's sitting there in your trash mocking you at its play cost 8 instead of 7. Thanks, Bandai. You have,
they just didn't want him. They didn't want him to work with Barba. He was, you know, Creepymon's guy.
They don't make him a fallen angel.
I don't know what to tell you, my guy.
I'm extremely disappointed by that. I'm excited for Creepymon though. Creepymon, when digivolving and on deletion, you're gonna pop all lowest DP. If the effect didn't delete, you get to mill 5 cards. So, okay, cool. Either you're going to deal with board and something like this, right? When I'm talking about like removing boss monsters or just like removal on cards, something that's like pop all lowest DP, I'm fine with, because you know what this line doesn't have? None of it says pop a level 4 or lower or anything that could sit there and absorb Creepymon's effect. We only have one card that does that, which is a Devimon that we got right here. No, it's not this Devimon. I'm thinking of EX7. Yeah, EX6, sorry. And this one is if your opponent has 5 or fewer cards in their hand, pop a level 3 Digi. So it's extremely hard to already meet that condition. And there really isn't anything else in purple that's going to pop level 4 or lower outside of maybe something like, what's his name? Deltamon. So this Creepymon, if you really want to put something in its way, you can just put out a level 3 and then boom, Creepymon is not going to eat up your boss monster. And I like effects like that. Effects that like target, or they purposely go for like highest DP, or they're like under a certain DP threshold. It's just like, yeah, thanks, bud. Of course, my boss monster would get removed by your boss monster. But this doesn't have that problem, and I like that. When attacking, if everyone has 10 or more in trash, you can play red or purple, level 5, or sorry, not level 5, 5k DP or lower from your trash to your empty breeding area without paying the cost. And then end of your turn, blitz, air quote, blitz. I can't wait to freaking brew with this card, man. Red or purple level 5. Of course, like, you're not going to pay too many red cards, but because you're playing a purple deck, you can play some red cards that are 5k or less if you really wanted to. And there are ones that could, yeah.
Can you look up, I hate to do this. Can you look up Growlmon for me real quick?
Growlx.
Just Growlmon.
Level 4 Growlmon.
What DP is regular Growlmons are?
They're all 5k except for Growlx.
Disgusting. That's what I'm gonna say. Disgusting. Because I know that's what people are gonna do. You place that Growlmon, the BT21 Growlmon, and then you just next turn Evo into Growlx. I know it's gonna happen. I just know it.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. Now I've got a little bit of acid in my mouth from the complete and utter disgust, because I was super excited to use this Creepymon in a nice and wholesome, non-degenerate way.
I just know it's gonna happen.
And I'm about to, I feel like this would be the card that would make me eat my words about generic Growlmon.
Yeah. I just see it happening. I don't know. I can totally see it.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it's not a bad idea, right? It's like, all right, cool. I'm playing Megidramon, and Creepymon's my alternate level 6. I'm going to go into this Creepy, and I'm going to put that Growl there. And then, yeah, next turn, Growlx, baby. I'm going to do the whole loop again.
Megidramon. You just play Growlx engine in with this deck, with this.
Well, because you would need to play the War Growl. So you'd probably play like 2 Megidramons at least.
Why would you need to play War Growl?
Because you need to get into a level, you need to Digivolve into this.
Okay, Skull Scatamon.
Oh, you're talking about playing Skull Satamon in this? Why would you play? Let's see.
Why would you
play
not run Skull Sata?
Where is
Skull Sata is for Creepymon.
No, I was just talking about like you, because War Growl, the War Growl inheritables are generic, right?
Probably, I don't know, but like Who cares?
No, that's what I'm saying. They are generic because this one is on deletion trash, mill 2, and then it gains raid and retail, which is great for creepy because you don't have to attack. So you could digivolve into War Growl and then digivolve into Creepymon, have raid retail. Not that you probably want to kill the Creepymon, but
sure. Well, I mean, it's also it's one digivolve on deletion, so sure, why not?
And then you would have this War Growl X for just your native sec +1. So you could have a Creepymon with raid.
I just realized you could probably loop mill someone with like this combo.
Hey.
Hey, yo, ban Growl X already. I already see it happening.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I'm super excited for non-Growlmon shenanigan Creepymon stuff, though. Very excited to play that.
I think this could also work with like the Server X combo. And then like you just get to the point where you're just looping like the Growl X lower engine with the Serb X engine. And then you just get to this point, you just keep swinging with it because you can just give shit rush.
I think without the abusable memory, it's not too bad.
Oh, you haven't seen Growl X plus Serb X combo with Lord Nightmon, and I just watched them go.
No, I haven't.
5 Lord Nightmons on the board in one turn and pop off and alliance swings and stuff.
You'll have to enlighten me on this deck because no, I have not seen this.
I can. So anyway, so I'm pretty sure you can, and you just do that. And mind you, because this is mill 5, if you don't kill anything, you could get to the point of your opponent's board is empty, and you just keep looping it and go mill 5, mill 5, mill 5, mill 5, mill 2 on the way, mill 2 on the way, mill 5, mill 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that could be a thing. We'll see.
Will I finally get to play my Millith deck again? Well, not Millith Blue. That's dead in the water. But will I finally get to play a mill deck not named Purple Hybrid?
It's possible.
Yeah, Dan and I are gonna have fun with that. All right, what do you want to talk about next?
I probably just put this out in the air, and someone in the comments gonna be like, "How dare you, Dan?" I guarantee you. And then,
right,
and then the comment of Dan doesn't want your opponent to play the game, is gonna come back again. You know.
Hey, you can't help what you perpetuate.
No, I'm just stating what you can possibly do. I'm just like a card player at the end of the day. Let's just continue in Adventure 02 since we skipped Adventure 01. We got Mallow.
Oh, I don't know my sequencing of villains. Mallow's.
I mean, well, my oldest mon is Adventure 01. Let's go. Let's start with Myotismon.
Okay, so Myotis is Adventure 01. Venom is Adventure 01, right? And Mallow's Adventure correct. 2. Okay.
Yes. With the Arcania and Mummymon. So Myotismon, whenever you find it. There you go. This card is cracked, low key. So by the time this video comes out, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Mallow loop. And I would not be surprised if whenever they do the next ban list, OG BC3 Mallow Myotismon gets banned because it's infinite memory. And you keep looping each other to the point you just trash your opponent's security. And then you go, all right, Yu-Gi-Oh will give a rush swing for game.
You talking
I
about
wouldn't be
this
surprised
one?
if that happens. Yep. So basically what the combo is, I'll talk into the cards in detail. The whole point is because of the new Mallow and Myotismon, you go to Myotismon, Myotis X, you have the Tamer, you have an Arucanimon or something in play. And at that point, you play double. You go Mallow Myotismon's effect, which we'll talk about in a second. You kill those two and then play it. And then Myotis X, you play out this Mallow. And then you just keep going to the point it's just infinite memory, and then you pop off, and you just keep doing it unlimited times. So
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, and we already know how Bandai feels about infinite memory loops. So this card is crazy because first off, you can play this card for 3 costs by deleting one of your Digimon with Myotismon and text. So that includes Arucanimon and Mummymon, and even Devimon, the one that searches. To be able to play this for 3 costs, pretty good. On play on deletion, one of your purple Digimon gain blocker retail. So now you don't have to worry about your ace. You don't need to run the ace anymore. The ace Myotismon, that was a blocker back in the day, irrelevant. You don't need it anymore. And then this is part of that combo with the inheritable. You may play 1 purple Tamer card from your trash suspended without paying the cost. So now you're able to gain multiple of the Arukenimon Mayumon tamer out, and it just like you just keep looping that combo. This card is cracked. So next one for Adventure 1 is the Venom. He might be, yeah, it's right underneath the purple green. This card is very good. If it wasn't for the stupid Mallow infinite loop thing, I think this card would get played with no problem, because this plus like Myotosmon X plus Mallow equals you can get Venom, Myotosmon plus Mallow on board, and you're just straight board controlling. This card is cracked because from your trash, by deleting one of your low 5 Digimon with the Myotosmon and text, play this card with a play cost reduced by 7. So this becomes a 5 cost drop, which is really good, honestly. And then on play, when Digivolve, you may suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then 2 of their Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend until their turn ends. So this is kind of like, if you remember for Mega Garga Ace, basically something similar to that type of effect without the Digivolve effect part. Being able to stun things is super good. We know in this game, especially in the current format where things are faster. Really, really good. And then on deletion, delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. Pretty good. I wish I would have said suspended Digimon or Tamer, but it is what it is.
Really, I mean, it would have made sense, right? Like it should have been suspended Digimon or Tamer.
Especially since the first effect deals with Tamers as well.
Yeah,
exactly. I think this card is I think this card is phenomenal. If they don't like, I don't think they're gonna mercy ban it, but if they don't like ban that Mallow, I think this should definitely see play in Myotosmon deck. And then the Adventure 02 stuff, we got Mummy and Arukenimon up, right? Yep. Arukenimon, I think this is very similar to the old one. So on play, by trashing one card in your hand, delete up to 6 cost DP worth of your opponent's Digimon. So that means if they have multiple rookies, you can pop multiple rookies, which is pretty cool. And then on deletion, you may play one Tamer card when Myotosmon is taxing your trash while paying the cost. This effect can't play cards with the same name as any of your Tamers. So basically, you have 2 names you're able to play, which is Yukio and the Arukenimon and Mayumon Tamer. This or the Mayumon is part of your like looping combos. So this one is you trash a card, DigiGuard 1, solid. And then on deletion, same thing. So basically, you get these out. You get the Arukenimon and Mayumon Tamer, and you play it out for 3, and then you just play Myotosmon for 3, and then you set up. It's a bit of a setup deck, obviously, but once you set up, it's GG's. You have the Yukio right there, as you can see. This card is solid. First off, he's a mem setter. if you're a deck that doesn't have a mem setter and you gain one as your second tamer, off rip, that's really good.
Yep.
Second
effect, World Night Seed's a memory setter.
No. I'm sure they'll probably get one eventually. I'm sure they'll get a new cool boy that gives it.
They're not going to give us a memory tamer. No, we're not going to get a memory setter.
And then all turns, you give one of your Myotosmon rush. If by deleting this tamer, one of the Digimon gains rush. Then gain 1 memory. So being able to, because the whole issue with the deck prior, main issue was that you could never swing on the same turn you get your Mallow Myotosmon.
Because you don't have anything that gives you rush. Like, what is that?
Exactly. And sometimes
Except
their effects are
X.
when attacking. Their effects are when attacking a lot of times. So you're never able to use the same turn. So it's really good to be able to have rush. No.
I lied.
X
not even.
not give rush.
Yeah. Even worse.
No, you need Myos X for the combo because it's crap.
You do, but like, you didn't have anything. You played out all these bodies and kind of just sat on them and said,
"Yes.
I hope you don't do anything to my bodies that I just put on the board."
Exactly. Yep. And then we got the MVP and Mallow Myotosmon, the new one. He is tricolor whenever we find him. I think he's purple first, right?
Purple first?
Maybe he's not.
No.
I would assume so. He's blue first. He's blue first. No, go. See, he's right there. Go, scroll.
He's red first, Daniel. Buffalo. You're a liar.
I knew blue was in there somewhere. So anyways, this card is cracked and a half. Card arguably busted.
Before you talk about the card, can we just take a moment to appreciate the absolute freaking fantastic job that Kazamasu Yasukuni has done on not just this art, but the Myotosmon art was phenomenal, and the other arts that they have done in this game. They did the Diaboromon arts. They've done a ton. I believe it's the Diaboromon arts they've done. Some of the, what's it called? The regional arts here promo arts, like their arts just hit. Yeah, they did do the Diaboro arts. Like these, I can only imagine when they're like doing it on whether it's their drawing pad or whatever, how this looks in like high res without being shrunk down to a 2.5 by 3.5 inch of piece of cardboard. I would love this person's art book because good Lord, these arts are freaking phenomenal. But yes, go ahead, Mallow.
Agreed. Yeah. So yeah, this card is cracked. So trash main effect by deleting two of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Midosmon and their text. Play this card with the play cost reduced by 11. So you're playing that for 3. On play, when Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn. Delete 2 other unsuspended Digimon. All turns, once per turn, when any of your other Digimon or Tamers are deleted. Trash your opponent's top security card and return one of their Digimon with the lowest DP to the bottom of the deck.
That's cracked.
So this is yeah, exactly. This is exactly why you can loop. So basically, the whole thing is you get one of these in the trash, you get the OG Mallow into trash, you get set up with a Midosmon with Myotis X and a Arukenimon Mamimon with the Tamer in play. And basically what happens, you kill those 2, their effects happen, you play the other Mallow, the other effect plays, you play 2 of the Tamers, their Tamers play out Arukenimon Mamimon, and then you keep going. And because you have that infinite resource of grabbing the Mamimon and Arukenimons and playing them for basically free, you're always killing them because they're always going to be unsuspended when you play this back out. And then the BT3 Mallow gains you a memory for every time. It doesn't have to be your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. It's your unsuspended as well. And so once you play 2 Mallows, now you're doubling the Mallow memory. You get 3 of the BT3 Mallow out at the same time. Now you're tripling the memory. And if you were to get crazy and get 4 out, you're basically stuck at 10 the whole goddamn game until you finish this effect, whereas all turns when any of your other Digimon or Tamers deleted, trash your opponent's top security. So you just keep doing that. You trash security 5 times. You get the Yu-Gi-Oh out. You give this bad boy rush. You swing for game. And so that's basically what happens. It's just a matter of time of you setting this up. So if they can kill you before you set up, GG's. But if they can't kill you before you set up, you're gonna get it going and you just pop off and you just win.
Yeah, this Mallow, this is probably the buff that Mallow Myotismon period as a deck needed, because prior to this, Myotismon deck, whether you played Venom or you played Mallow, was just an incoherent mess. You could do one thing, but you can't do the other. You can kind of do something, but you kind of don't really have a way to actually like win the game. Now you've got Yu-Gi-Oh for Rush. Good.
No, I was gonna say because you kind of had like 2 different ways of playing it. You have you skip your 4s and you play your 5s with like the Mummy Arukenimon stuff. But like back then it was a little harder to be efficient with it, and you didn't have a good Myotismon. This is a good Myotismon we're getting now. And yes, we have the BT, I want to say 16 Mallow, and that one kills Tamers too, which is really good. And you're able to do a lot more now.
They've never gone the distance. Oh, the regular Myotismon wasn't
never that good. We had good Mallows. Like I said, we have the BT16 Mallow, I think it is, where you're able to kill Tamers and stuff like that as well. And trash security, so it's pretty good. And we got the last Venom, which is okay, not the best, but it was decent enough. It was just a matter of we need another Yu-Gi-Oh. We need another way to play things out for free and cheaper as well. So being able to have that Mallow that you can just play for 3 whenever, even if you don't, I think let's say for example, right, Barney, if they were to go emergency ban, let's get rid of that BT3 Mallow Myotismon because it's too. We know it's too problematic off rip. I think this deck is still I'm not going to say like a meta contender, but it's going to be up there. Like this is going to be a problem. Like people need to watch out because this is going to still top. This is going to still do so much just because that new support is that good.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We finally have a cohesive game plan that isn't Venom Myotis fighting against Mallow Myotis for deck space or support working for one Myotis, but not the other Myotis. Now you actually have a reason to play both in the same deck. Because I think they finally acknowledged that, you know what? If we're going to create Myotis support, why create Venom Myotis support and then separate Mallow Myotis support? Why don't we just create Myotis support and let both things, even though they are from two different series, just work together? Because that's probably the better way to go about it. We finally have that. And they're not fighting each other, and the generic support is just good. Like, it's about damn time. Dan and I have been doing Myotis shenanigans for the eternity of the game.
For a long time.
Happy to finally see some good stuff here. I'll talk about Appmon so you don't have to. So Appmon's biggest thing, you guys should have noticed the trend by now with the Appmon. They all end on their god line, or their level 6, doing some sort of game plan. And the big thing with like Deucemon and the line that we got in this set is when effects trash any of your source, pop opponent's Digimon. So all of the Appmon basically give effects when trashed. Weather Dramon, by trashing one link card, -6. Mirror is suspend 2. Mienumon is this one's slightly different, because this one you can play with a little bit more, but lets you play a Leviathan trait tamer card. That is very important to know. I don't know anything about Appmon lore, but the fact that this doesn't name the tamer that it's playing, because I think the other ones name their tamers, right, Dan?
Yeah, I believe so.
So this one just says Leviathan. It doesn't even say like app driver, so that you can't use this in whether it's any of the other decks, because I can't remember names right now. This one just lets you play a Leviathan tamer. So as a non-Appmon watcher, somebody who knows nothing about Appmon just tells me, cool, there are more Leviathan things to come out. This one says when any of your opponent's Digimon suspend, you trash a source, draw one, gain a memory. It has that sort of little like Bagra army effect, which is pretty cool. The Warudramon. Sorry, I can't even say it. Warudamon. It's because I keep... It's because I think of... We have a Warudramon. Oh, yeah, is it Warudramon?
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, it is. All right, so I'm thinking of Warudramon, yeah. So Warudamon, which is pretty much just like the female version of Warudramon, probably. I don't know what the actual lore is.
Definitely
Dan, look, they're both... Oh, I thought this one was green. Okay, no, I'm wrong. Yeah. This one's really...
That looks nothing like Warudramon.
You never know. It's a Digimon, Dan. It's
because it's Warumonzimon as well. Waru just means like, I think like evil or bad or something like that.
Well, this is just a Warudamon. This one's going to, when any of your opponent's Digimon suspend, you trash source to trash your opponent's top security card. And keep in mind, that's not a once per turn. So if you, now granted, if you are at, where is he? He's not here. Oh, is he not considered Appmon? Interesting.
Cool.
I would have thought that Leviathan would have been an Appmon. Or sorry, Deucemon. What the hell is Deucemon then?
I don't know. God? I think they're all separate.
No, it should be. Okay, no, it's just not there. I thought so. Okay. Yeah, then the trait isn't there for it, but it is an Appmon. So all the gods have a link +1. So you can only ever trash 2. What?
Sorry,
what it
means like evil or like bad. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you'll only ever have 2 sources to trash for the Warudamon, but being able to trash sources for that, to trash 2 security potentially on your opponent's turn, it's nothing to scoff at. And then this lets you link something when you play it or digivolve, and then when it gets linked, you can suspend something that can't unsuspend. Akabemon, trash to de-digivolve with security effect, just like the Weather Dramon. A Warpmon that has a security... Is this deck all security effects? No, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 Digimon with security effects for this deck. That's kind of crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of really good, actually. This one's a blocker. Trash to say de-digivolve effects don't affect 1 of your Digimon until the opponent's turn end is really good. Cometmon has collision. When effects trash any of its source, you get to -8 KDP and gives protection when it would leave the battle area. Co-Pipemon, reveal 3, add an Atmon Leviathan trait. And then when it's trashed, you may, or when by trashing 1, I should say, you get to return Atmon from trash to hand. Sakusimon, when affects trash any of its link cards, gain a memory, and then you can trash 1 on attack and delete. So you notice the trend there. It's all about trashing source. The Fusion is if your opponent has Digimon, gain a memory. When affects trash any of the link cards, suspend it, draw 1. And then end of turn, one of your Digimon may ab-fuse. And the God Grade Unleashed that does kind of the same thing as the other ones, which is a draw 1. And then you get to do the link. When it affects trash, blah, blah, blah. So that's the trend.
The difference is that option is all turns, I believe. I don't think the others are all turns.
Oh, that is true. Yes, this is all turns, which is pretty nifty.
I think this is probably the best Atmon so far, like the Deucemon stuff, because you could do things on your turn and then you could do things on your opponent's turn and F up their plays as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Messing up Deucemon when it's on board. Super strong. I don't know, like if this pushes Atmon to like topping, like will it make top 16? Maybe, I don't know. But I think this is definitely a good direction it needed.
This is a good
+1 is strong too.
This is a good first line of support because, you know, sure, like Gaiamon got like a good line, but you can tell it's the same thing that we suffered with the field decks. Nature Spirits was aight, and I think Gaiamon is good, but you can tell that that's the first one. You can tell how far it's come. You can tell that they're learning as they go, which is important. Deucemon is very good. Deucemon, like Dan said, that interaction on your opponent's turn that I didn't realize, that's a very big thing because you can go into this Deucemon, link things, and then get abilities either when linking and then say, cool, when affects trash, I get to pop Digimon. So this is the card that gives you interactivity on both your turn and your opponent's turn, which is pretty freaking fantastic. Now, Deucemon is a secret. So Atmon enjoyers, I'm sorry, you got secrets to collect. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
This is 2 out of 3 Atmons are secrets now.
Yep.
This trend.
Is true. Dan, you've got new Dark Masters support.
Yeah. Super exciting. APOC is back. APOC is back. Don't worry. He doesn't need to be banned anymore. It's okay.
Yeah, this is totally a fair card.
Card is cracked. So
it's a fair card.
About the others. I think we got to talk about the others first to understand what APOC does. So they all have the same effects of where hand main, if you don't have a Digimon other than Digimon with Dark Masters and text, you may play this card reduced by 5. So you can, all the effects, so Metal Teacher, Puppet, Machine, and Piedmon have that effect of reducing it by 5. So it makes them a 6 cost play. And they all have the same effect of all turns, the Digimon can only Digivolve into APOC. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. They trying to, proof them because
they don't Digivolve from anything.
They don't want Omnizor shenanigans with them. Yep. And the same effect applies to all of them as well, except for their own color of on deletion. If you have no blue face-up security cards, place this Digimon face-up as bottom security card. So Machine, it says black. Pie, it says purple. Puppet says green. And then the security effect, which they all have. If this card was face-up, you may play 1 level 5 or lower card with Dark Masters in it. Text from your hand or trash, I believe it is.
Yes, correct.
And basically, you're gonna be playing. You can play your level 5 searchers at the moment. I'm very shocked they didn't give us new minions in this set for them, like a new Scorpio, a new Cherry, a new Gigadramon, a new Lady Devi for them. So you can have more versatility and maybe like have their effects to be like you can place their like level 6 version in security or something. Kind of surprised about that, but it is. We haven't got any yet.
It's even more surprising that like they gave that effect. Now I know like this is definitely them trying to like rein it in, but I don't think there was ever an issue about like digivolving your DMs on these Digimon. I would have just given it like a black box to digivolve from a level 5 with Dark Masters and trait. Yeah, because they don't even digivolve from anything, which really does suck. Makes you, I mean, this forces you to play both the old ones and the new ones for what it's worth. You're not just gonna full send on the new ones.
Yep.
It does kind of make you have to intermingle the engines there.
Yep. So back to their own effects. So Metal Siegema, I think, is a stun, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Metal Siegemon's a tamer and Digimon
attacking.
stun.
Yep. Puppet bottom decks, like always. He can bottom deck. I think he might be a bottom deck a tamer. I don't remember.
Just the Digimon.
Just Digimon. Okay. Machinimon, he digivolves 2 on 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Probably this is the best one, honestly. And Piedmon kills an unsuspended Digimon. So
always
their
stay
effects
with that.
they're always the same. They're very similar to what they did previously, except the Machinimon is buffed up compared to the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the new Spiral Mountain. This card is fantastic. It's a pot of greed. You can play it whatever as long as you don't have Spiral Mountain in battle area. Again, we're trying to, keep it from being busted. While you don't have Spiral Mountain in battle area, you can ignore the colors requirements. So you really only have one at a time, unless you're running Reaper or Ukos or something like that.
And you don't really want to be running. You don't really want to be running Reaper, because then
exactly. And nowadays the way this is draw two, fantastic.
They said balance.
Yeah, exactly. Draw 2, and then the delay effect, which is fantastic. And at the end of your opponent's turn delay, you may play 1 face-up Digimon card with the Dark Master trait from your security stack without paying the cost. At the end of your turn, delete the Digimon this effect played. And a security effect, you may play 1 Digimon card with the Dark Master trait from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then add this card to the hand at the turn end, delete the Digimon the effect played. So it's quite fantastic being able to grab from your trash for free, and then to get them back into your security with their unleashing effect is really strong. So it just adds more consistency to the deck, which is the deck desperately needed. And then finally, we got the new APOC. This card is pretty cool. So what you can do is, when this card will be played, by placing 1 of each face-up Dark Master trait with different names from your security stack under this card, reduce the play cost by 4. So basically what that means is, if you have all 4 of them, you're playing this for a cost of 1, because that's reduced by 16, making this a 1 cost play. And then on play, when Digivolving, you may play 1 of each of your Dark Masters with different names. Then they all gain Rush, which is pretty cool. And then at turn end, delete the Digimon the effect played, which is kind of funny, because then you just keep recycling your Dark Masters and stuff like that. And I mean, if you get all 4 with APOC, you should probably be winning, right? At that point, that's 4 swings. You probably should have done some chip damage here and there. Probably have him at 3, and that's just seal the game. But if not, you get to recoup your security, and if your opponent were to start swinging into him, then you gain more resources out of it. I think this deck is super interesting. They gave a showcase on how the deck run, and I feel like it was built poorly. I think it was just it was meant to just showcase what it can do by itself, and they didn't add aces. I think that's the one thing, because of what Dark Masters, Omni Zeus style decks have been. It's been about your aces as well. And I think with this plus aces, plus maybe some other things into it, I think it could be a really strong control type deck until you're ready to go APOC and go Burb.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that when let's say like the lead set designer went to his team and was like, hey, EX10 villain set, we're going to redo APOC, and I swear on my life, if you guys give me another busted APOC, I'm firing you. Like, the developers 100%. Hit overtime, and they're like, all right, how do we 100%. Not make this busted?
Yeah. Mind you, and they don't even have inheritables either anymore. So like, it's all about getting the on play from them.
They said we are
with the new stuff.
We are changing this play style. Holy hell, did we mess up?
I will say though, if you're able to, because I think you could play the old with the new stuff no problem, because the old stuff is they have inheritables plus being able to evo into the APOC. So if you were to have enough memory, hypothetically, right, you evo into one of them that doesn't have the other name, then it saves you from having to have the 4 in it.
You can get 2 APOCs out in one turn, Dan.
Hell yeah, you can.
And you can activate their own play effect.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can play them in tangent. I think it's pretty cool. Now we can play Mephisto and Golfmon. That we couldn't really play them previously because of having only one. And I think this one's definitely going to see play because first off, when this card is revealed from the deck, this card is also treated as a level 6. So basically, if it gets searched by the Dark Master Searchers, your 5, and then you're able to play him for a reduced cost, I think too, as well, if I remember.
Yeah,
when this card will be played from the hand by returning 1 APOC from your trash to the bottom of the deck. So now we have 5 APOCs. So this is very possible now. Reduce the play cost by 3. And then on deletion, if deleted by an effect, you may play 1 Golfmon or 1 level 6 Dark Master trade card from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So that means you could potentially go one of your 5s or 6s, pop that, get a Golfmon plus another 6, and you gain a lot more bodies. This Golfmon is actually pretty decent. You just never saw it play because why would you play this with only 1 APOC? You know what I'm saying? Yep. So this thing was on play when DigiVolve by placing 1 level 5 card with the Dark Masters and the text from your hand or trash as its bottom digital source. Delete 1 of your opponent's level 5 or lower. Solid effect. When attacking by returning 7 cards from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck, unsuspend this Digimon. So being able to do 2 checks off of this is not that bad. And I think it's solid. And that's 7 cards in today's world. There's so many decks that revolve around that graveyard. You're now effing up their graveyard effects way more before because you're not going to mill out.
This is Digimon. That's your trash.
Exactly. What I just said.
You said graveyard.
Oh, did I? Whoops. Anyways,
it's the Yu-Gi-Oh player in you.
Yeah. You're never going you're not going to mill someone out with APOC anymore unless somehow the game is drawn out and you have that silver bullet in your hand and you go, all right, mill a game, So this is a way to slow down their plays or stop their plays fully and you're able to control the board with it. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's definitely something that could be tinkered with now.
Can confirm Dan will definitely be tinkering. He is the ultimate APOC fan.
I need to get all them AAs and try to get the SP as well.
All right. We got new Lucamon stuff. And oh my lord, this is so much better than anything that we've had before. So first of all, praise Lucamon Chaos Mode. We have a good Cupimon. When any of your Digimon with Lucamon in their names move from breeding to battle, trash a card, draw 1, gain 1. That is such a boon for the way that Lucamon wants to play. We have a Lucamon that says, when Digivolving, this Digimon may move. Wow. It's like they all could have used that. Not like, I'll Digivolve for 5 past turn and hope you don't kill me.
And do absolutely nothing because you can't do anything.
And then end of turn. Now, this one's going to be a little bit harder to achieve because you do have to have a game plan set up for this. So you either need to do analog youths or be past your turn, let's say 2 or 3. End of turn, by returning 5 cards with Lucamon in their text from trash to bottom of deck, may Digivolve into Chaos Mode without paying the cost. It's a really good card. I wish they all read when Digivolving, this Digimon may move. Honestly, I would love if they gave it that Liberator Tamer to say when any of your Cupimon Digivolve into Lucamon, it may move. That would be awesome because I think every single one of the Lucamons need that. That is how you make the deck relevant. This, like I said, this is good, but it doesn't do anything on your first turn. You want to see the other Lucamons. If they all could move when they Digivolve, they would be fantastic. We got a new Chaos Mode that is, wow, so much better too. Because guess what? When you give your opponent a choice, now this one actually matters. Let me bring up the other Lucamons real quick because now I'm on something.
Just to compare them in contrast.
Yeah.
Oh, that OG one? Fantastic.
Let's not even talk about that. So before I talk about the new one, the current Chaos Modes we have basically says your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If they don't, recover 1. It's like, okay, bud, sure, have your recover 1. I don't care. But guess what? Now you have the same thing, but you get to trash a card in your hand to give your opponent that effect. Why does that matter? Because now you get to fill your trash with cards, right? Before it was hard to get cards from trash to hand. You would have to rely on this Lucamon, which is reveal 3, trash the rest, or this subjectively worse Lucamon, because it doesn't have a play cost reduction, and is another choice to, trash one, they either trash your top security, recover one, blah, 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 whatever, right? Okay, cool. Now we have another way to trash cards, but more important, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If they don't delete, it doesn't leave. So now it's like, hey bud, on Digivolve, either you delete something or I recover. And now, you're gonna kill me, you're gonna remove me, I get bounced, something happens to me. May I have your life? If you won't let me have your life, then I get to stay. Which is so much better than this one that says, by trashing your bottom security card, it doesn't leave. Now this one's still good, because this one does play out your Satan mode, it plays out your 7 Great Demon Lords. This one will still see play. This one's saying, hey, we gotta make a trade here, is just so much better. And even more importantly than this chaos mode, we have a new Satan mode. Now it sucks, right? Because this Satan mode art is so awesome, but I guarantee you just pull this card right out your deck. It's trash, doesn't deserve the spot. Why does it not deserve the spot? Because this Satan mode is so much better. This one has an on-play effect. Guess what the Satan mode that they originally gave us doesn't have? An on-play effect, meaning that you have to hard Digivolve into this to place the Lucamon larva from your trash to breeding area, which is a travesty. So if you're hard playing this, you're really just doing it for the end of all turns, which is good, but it's never enough, right? Now your Satan mode says, cool, on play and when Digivolving, I get to place the larva from trash to breeding area to pop all my opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So cool, because before, all this Satan mode would do is you just pop one of their Digimon or Tamers. Yeah, whatever, cool. Now you get to pop all with the highest level. Hello, Royal Knights. Hello, if for whatever reason, there is like more than one Demon Lord out on the board at a time, you now get to deal with that. Or let's say your opponent's trying to board swarm you and they got a bunch of like level 4s, or they got 2 level 5s. Buy to both of them. I don't think we have, all right, no, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say, I don't think we have enough like delete multiple effect, but it's not something that we need much of. I like this having that for what this card is supposed to be doing. When Digivolving and when attacking, your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If they don't, trash their top security and this Digimon on suspends. So that illusion of choice that we've been giving players all this time with these old cards may delete if they don't recover one. They finally recognize, oh man, people will just say, yeah, go ahead and have your recovery, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That doesn't win them the game. How do we make this deck win a game? Well, you say to your opponent, if you don't pop something, I get another attack and I get to trash your security, which means you Digivolve this.
More aggression.
You give your opponent the choice. They don't pop something. You essentially get to pop their security and swing again, if you were keeping turn on this somehow. If they do pop something, all right, cool. You don't delete anything or you don't trash anything, but they also don't have something. Now it's really like that illusion of choice was such the biggest problem with Lucamon, that now that we have things that actually matter, giving your opponent that choice, it's just so much better for it. And then let's not forget about how cracked Paradise Lost
for 2 costs. This is crazy.
Like Dead or Alive, it was like, I want to play Dead or Alive, but like it cost 8. I don't really want this card in hand all the time, blah, blah, blah. Hey, now Paradise Lost. While you have a Digimon Lucamon name on the field, you can ignore the color requirements. The trash effect is at the end of turn. If you have a Digimon with Lucamon in its name, return card to bottom of deck, trash your top security card, and one of your Digimon attacks without suspending. Meaning that when you do your reveal for the Lucamon starter main, or if you trash it for the Chaos mode, which is why it's important that Chaos mode has by trashing a card in your hand, you are now able to aggress. You don't have to just Digivolve and pass turn. You can Do this, give your opponent choice, and then swing. The same thing that we talked about with my Otismon. You put these bodies on board. It's like, cool, I hope you don't deal with my bodies. Lucemon had the same problem, and now you don't. And then the main effect, you get to give something that has Lucemon in name, Raid, Piercing, Blocker, 3k DP, with a security effect to play a Lucemon. This is a 4. Dead or alive, out of here.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't need that anymore. This is such a big boon for the Lucemon deck. I'm going to have to pick up my Lucemon Alt-Art pieces again because I'm officially excited to play Lucemon again. This makes the deck so much better. It's crazy.
100% does. Excited to see what Lucemon does in the future.
Not saying it's going to be meta, but so much better than what it is currently.
Yeah, for sure. Let's start running through some of these a little bit faster. So, Beelzemon, the next cover card.
Don't talk about Beelzemon just yet. Just brush through Quartzmon. Just brush through it. Brush through Hunters.
It's an ace. Does the same thing as an ace. Next. All right, Quartzmon. It's a cool thing.
It's a toned down Quartzmon.
It's a yeah, exactly. So you suspend all the Digimon tamers on Evo on play. And then when Digimon when attacking, delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. All turns other than Digimon, no Digimon or tamers can unsuspend in the unsuspend phase. Pretty solid card. I think it's really good as a defensive tool. You're not going to use it as an offensive tool too much, really.
Not like the old one.
I think it's a solid card. You also got the new Psych and Astamon that goes along with it. Psychmon is pretty solid for Hunters, I think. So start the main phase by trashing one card with saving its trait. Draw one and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Really strong on deletion save. And then inheritable, I think, is Piercing.
Yeah, Piercing. Same thing with Astamon.
Yeah. And then Asta has Fortitude, which is pretty cool. And then you may play one card. Play one.
They cost 4 or less.
Lower card. Why does it look so weird? Card with save and text from under your tamers without paying the cost. So cool thing is you're able to get alliance with the new tamer. So scroll down to the new tamer real quick. So this Ryuma allows you to give your opponent's Digimon with save and text alliance, which is pretty cool. So like you do like some weird shenanigans where you can like go Quartzmon, swing, and then suspend your Psychmon to be able to swing 2 checks with the Quartz. And I think it works even better with the old one because the old one also trashes security as well. So you might be able to do a lot more damage than you did previously. Definitely gonna be interested to see what Hunters do with these new couple cards.
Yeah, that's definitely a much better card for that. Astamon really buffs up the old Quartz because it just gives you an extra body.
Exactly. Speaking of Astamon, there's a Belfmon now we got. New Belfmon support is really good. If you find it. It's green.
I found it. I know I found it. I was just looking for the other cards that went along with it. Oh, we didn't get anything else. It's just the 2 Belfamons.
Yeah, and the tamer.
Oh.
Yeah. Here. So again, we mentioned before, when your deck doesn't have a mem setter, you're gonna get a second mem setter as the tamer. End of your turn, if you have 6 or less fewer cards in your hand by placing this tamer as a bottom Digiluge card of any of your Digimon with Belfmon name, that Digimon Digivolve into Belfmon name in his trash while paying the cost. Really good effect. Really good effect, in my opinion. And then we got the new Sleep and Rage mode. Sleep mode is pretty good. It's pretty much the same as the other one, where you're going to gain the protections until the end of your opponent's turn. And then the second effect is this Digimon can't attack and your opponent's effects don't affect it. Yada yada. Opponent's turn. Once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon suspend by trashing 2 cards in your hand, suspend 2 of their Digimon or tamers. So if they were to attack and maybe they needed their tamers for effects or other Digimon, you can suspend them before they can do anything with them and stop their plays for a reason. Pretty solid. And then Rage mode is pretty good. This first off has Fortitude on body, Evo over Sleep mode for 1. Start your main phase, suspend all your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Then if you have 6 or fewer cards in your hands, this Digimon gains Piercing, second attack +2, and 3k. So this bad boy becomes a 17k, 3 checks piercer, super strong, really good. And then start your other effects, starting your main phase on play and when Digivolve and delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon or tamers. Another card for tamer removal. We love it in today's day and age, honestly, with what the game is. And it has an inherent effect. End of your opponent's turn. Digimon sleep mode, trash the top card, so he becomes rage mode. This new support with just with these 3 cards alone, I think brings back Belfmont to be I won't say meta relevant, but it becomes
It's
in
meta
the
relevant.
contention of a top 16. You're going to see it at a regional quite often type of deck again.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this. We'll talk about Belfax another day because that would require us to gush some more about Belf. But this rage mode is, I personally prefer this rage mode because it has tamer interaction, but also because it has a when digivolving and an on play. The other rage mode was kind of just like, oh, if I have to hard digivolve this, I'm kind of like out in the open because I don't really, there's nothing really I can do. It doesn't really help me do anything. This one has fortitude, so cool. I swing, I die, I come back. You know, I'm not just screwed by security options. Obviously, that combos very well with Belfa X if you guys already know the card. And then with the Akihiro saying, all right, cool, 6 or fewer cards, you get to place this underneath because you don't have to just wait till your end of opponent's turn now. Now it's like, all right, let's just say, I don't know, you swing, you're not able to close game out. You just play something, end turn, boom, place this underneath, right back into sleep mode. You don't, like, as much as I like the option card, Gift of Darkness, why do you want to run that for 6, man? 6 to just digivolve back into a sleep mode. Sure, you get to pop something, but now you can just say,
Still
cool.
solid card, though.
It is, but now you can just say, cool, Akihiro, get the same thing without having to pay all that memory, and I can do something else instead of, you know, paying 6 to do this thing. So very, very excited for new Belf support. Dark Knight got new stuff. It's kind of, it's all right. It's, I wish Mike was here because Mike can talk more about Dark Knight than either of us can. Skull Knight, trash something, delete something. Deadly Axemon, trash something, return something. Dark Knightmon, same thing as the old one, which is, oh no, it's not the same thing as the old one, sorry. This one says it's unaffected by D-Digivolve and gains 3k, so cool, I guess. When it would leave battle area, you play the thing, opponent's turn. When a Digimon attacks, you can change the attack target. But we don't have, I mean, sure, I guess like you can play this with Bagramon, right? And that would be the big thing.
Yeah.
But Bagramon has other things that you want to be playing because you have,
Bagramon got pretty good.
you have other Bagra stuff to play. Choo Choo, Dame, Tuwar, Ball.
Searcher, I think.
It is not a searcher. It's a play. It's start of main. Place one of your Digimon from hand or trash as the bottom evolution source, as the bottom source of any of your Bagra Army tamers. So this lets you load up your old U, but you also have your new U and Nene dual tamer treated as both. That lets you tuck something underneath from hand or trash to draw one. So recursion, nice. And then alternates when you would play Bagra Army or Twilight with the Digicross requirement. You can suspend it, and you can also place cards from your trash. 1 card from under your tamer, 1 card from your trash can be placed for that Digicross. So that buffs up both decks. But like I said, you don't really like the Dark Knightmon deck, even like the Lord Knightmon deck. It's just like okay, I guess. I don't like. It's such a weird thing for like this stuff to work for like Lord Knightmon. Dark Knight X, it's kind of like irrelevant in my opinion. This is still playing down. As a matter of fact, this one plays down for 5. It doesn't even, I think the old one still plays for that much. So you're never really like keeping turn on it. But the Bagramon stuff, this is so much better for it.
Talk about Bagger already. God damn.
I just had to send it home how bad this card was. You got a new, so we talk about the Choo Choo. They all have, instead of memory gaining, because somebody learned their lesson about memory gaining. These are all when affects trash, you get to draw one. So Dame is a place 1 underneath to draw 1 on deletion. Play a 2-war with a play cost 7 or less. You get the 2-war here, which trashes something to gain.
This 2-war is solid.
Very solid.
Crazy.
Rush, collision, blocker, retail. On play when digivolving, when attacking. That can play down for 3. This 2-war is crazy good. The new Balmon that supports so this is Bagra Army because in the Cross Wars anime, Beelzemon was part of the Bagra Army at some point. blah, blah, blah.
Realistically, not playing this card in background.
It's Bagra Army traded, but you're not going to play this in Bagra Army, so we're just going to ignore that for now. Now we have our new generals. The new generals are so much better than the old ones. Tactimon is much more relevant. It sucks he only plays for 8 instead of playing down for maybe like 5 or 6, but still pretty decent. Choose one of your Digimon, delete that, and one of your opponent's Digimon as high or lower a level. Why would you want to do that, you ask? You have a Blastmon that has Collision, Fragment, and Blocker, which is such a... that's a keyword trio. On play when Digivolving till the end of opponent's turn, you get to give something a taunt, and then all turns when it attacks by trashing 2 of its source, it gains Sec +1 and 3 KDP. So because it has Fragment, you can Digicross. This plays down for 11, 9, 7. You then drop the Tactimon. You can pop the Blastmon and pop something else, but Blastmon has Fragment, so you can just trash his 3 source and then draw some cards or gain some memory back. Tactimon gives all of them protection. When any of your Bagra Army trait would leave, trash 2 of his source, they don't leave. And then you've got the new Lilith Mommy, which isn't here. Oh, here she is. Lilith Mommy, at the till your opponent's turn end, you give it a taunt. Oh, sorry, not a taunt. One of the Digimon or Tamers. End of your turn, delete one of your Digimon, which is so important. Is the only reason that I'm going to play this in my Lilithmon deck, because giving their Tamer end of your turn, delete one of your Digimon, means that it gets around some of those, like this Digimon is unaffected by
protection effects,
your opponent's effects, because Lilithmon is giving them the effect, so they can get around her effect by gaining that protection. Tamers don't have that, so now it puts them in a stickier predicament. And then all turns, when any of your opponent's Digimon are played or deleted, trash 2 of her source to play level 4 or lower. So the reason I would play this in regular Lilith is because, first of all, that taunt effect is really good, but also because I would try a Bagra Army engine in Lilith, because she doesn't really have anything good going for her right now. So why not try something that seems to play a little bit better with her strategy, and then try to use Lilith X and do some stuff. And then most importantly, we got a new Bagra and Darkness Bagra. Bagramon saying cool. We talked about these cards on the previous pod.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it before. Yep.
So it's basically just better Bagramons. You're going to be able to force Digicross, place one of your opponent's Digimon as any of their other bottom evolution source or under Tamers. And then when effects place, or when your opponent's Digimon Digivolve or effects place cards underneath them, such as for Digicross, you can trash 2 source to trash your opponent's security. Darkness Bagra in all of his badass glory. The crazy art by talking to
Look at this JoJo anime looking.
Bro, that's correct. I can't wait to see this in person. This one too. This one looks pretty tough. Choose one of your opponent's hand. Choose one card in your opponent's hand, and then place it as their bottom Digi-Evolution source or under one of their Tamers. And then you place Bagra Army trait cards from your trash as its top Digi-Evolution source to pop one of their Digimon or Tamers. So if you get that lucky ace pluck, bloop, you get some free overflow. And then it gains all the alternate effects of all level 6 in its source. So now that we see our 3 generals here, you can get protection from Tactimon if you stack 2 Tactimons. Because this doesn't specify that you have to tuck different ones. You get 2 instances of protection. Because this is gain all effects, right? Yeah, all effect. Oh, the all turns effects, sorry.
All turn effects.
So you can get the all turns protections. You can get when effects place, obviously from this Bagramon, we talk about that one. We talk about Blastmon.
Yep,
when it attacks, trash to gain Sec +1 and 3 KDP, which is nasty on Darkness Bagra. And Lilith, that when things are played or deleted, plays something else out. So such a better cohesive strat. We said it back then.
Last time as well. You can also play the OG Bagra also.
Yep.
You could do a combo where you're doing double trash security as well.
Yeah. Oh, we said last time we questioned if Bagra Army was relevant, and I think this makes the deck so much more relevant. There's so much. It's just, I mean, it's updated for today's meta, and the cards don't suck complete ass. It's
agreed. Yeah.
So much better. All right, Dan, now you can talk about BLs, but I think we've gotten through everything else.
Yeah, I think we're basically everything. I don't think anything else we have. Yeah, it's just BLs now. Yep. So we get to the Apagumon that's all the way up top. Oh, there's also Gamamon, but who cares about Gamamon?
Who cares about Gamamon?
Someone does. Sorry, chat.
You got one new card because I don't even think you got a Gamamon, right?
No. They got the Regulus.
Yeah, they got a Regulus? Oh, you did get a Regulus.
Got the new Regulus.
Gulas and a Regulus. Gulas, trash 2, place. When affects place, Digivolve, has raid as inherited. And then Rush Blocker, place 5. Lance said that this card helps Gamamon a lot. I'm not a Gamamon enjoyer. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
I don't know anything about Gamamon's game plan. I still stay ignorant to everything that Gamamon does because I hate that little motherfucker with all my heart.
Then you got the new level 6 as well.
Is there? What the fuck
right
color
there,
is he? To the right?
There, is that not it?
No, that's Regulus.
That's the one you were just looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, my fault.
I think it's just Gulas and Regulus.
Yeah, probably right.
That's why, yeah. So that's Arcany. Gulas and Regulus. Gosh, I can't even find the card now. Here we go. Rush Blocker, place 5, pop something, end of turn. If it has 5 or more, attack without suspending when any opponent's Digimon are deleted, gain a memory. Y'all will have to let me know in the comments. Like I said, I stay ignorant to everything that Gamamon does. Whenever I have a Gamamon player play against me, I rely on them knowing cards too. Because if you play Gamamon, you clearly enjoy it. And I could care less what this deck. I'm so sorry if you're a Gamamon enjoyer, but I don't think I've ever really been so ignorant as to what a deck does outside of Gamamon in this game.
Crazy. So anyways, let's get back to Pagu.
You don't even know what it does.
Anyways, we ain't talking about me. We talking about you. Oh, Pagu. There's a Pagu, man.
That's the Pagu for I forgot this for Creepymon, but it also does work for Beelzemon.
When your opponent's deck is trash, draw one. Never mind.
I don't right. It does because I don't think Beelz has anything trash.
My bad. Anyways, back to Ifmon. I thought that was for the new.
No, that's a creepy. That's a creepy egg.
Yeah. So this card is really good, honestly. When this card is trash on the deck, you may delete one of your opponent's low 4 lower. Solid effect. Starting main phase, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Fantastic. I think this might be a 3 to 4 of, honestly. Inherit is whatever your turn. For every 10 cards you trash, gain 1k. Not bad. So potentially 3k. 2k probably consistently. Then you get the new Wizardmon. This Wizardmon is really good because it also not does it only work for Beelzemon, it works for the data witch deck, whatever you want to call it. So when effect trash this card, when this card will be trash, you can give one of your opponents or from security as well. Give one of your opponents Digimon second attack -1. Pretty solid until the end of the turn. I'll play when Digivolving by trashing your top security card. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck. All of your opponents Digimon get -3k for the turn. So a small little blanket. Pretty solid effect. Inherited barrier for Beelzemon for what reasons? Honestly. But it's really good. It just makes no sense. But hey, we're good. It's probably a new 4 of as well. New Ballmon is also pretty solid as well. So it's
not solid doesn't do it justice. This new Ballmon is a 4 of
3 cards. Yeah, you think so? Okay. Because now you have a consistent on deletion effect to play the Beelzemon. So it makes sense, yeah. Trash top 3 cards of your deck. Then if you have 5 or more cards in your trash, the Digimon gains Reboot and Blocker to end of your turn. On deletion, play a Beelzemon if you have 10 or more cards. So again, pretty cool, right? You just end turn on this for whatever reason. If you can't attack with it, you're now a blocker. You're a blocker. And so now they were to attack, or I'm a block. I die. I play Beelzemon. Really strong effect.
No, what's really nasty with it is because it's blocker reboot, you can Digivolve, swing. Oh, I didn't die? Okay, cool. Reboot, and I still have blocker.
Right. Yep.
So it's and you are very versatile.
You're basically guaranteed. In this deck, you're guaranteed 10 cards in the trash.
Yeah,
starts turn 0, basically, it feels like.
The big question is if you get the Beelzemon in trash. That's always the question. Are your first 10 mills going to be a Beelzemon? Because there are times that it's not. I like this Ballmon a lot. I've been a really big fan of the starter deck Ballmon because starter deck Ballmon is the one that gains the ability to play out the Beelzemon. Yeah, trash top 3 and then it gains the on deletion.
The other one is the one that's even better because it's just on deletion. You do the same thing.
Right. I have grown to love this one a lot because when attacking, it lets me be more aggressive and mill but then also get that on deletion. I proc myself, and now this is kind of like the best of both worlds, as Hannah Montana used to say. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah, definitely.
And
finally, the
no,
not the cover card, but the other secret, Beelzemon Ace. Me personally, I know a lot of people are on the fence on this. I think this card is the new 3 to 4 of for the deck. That's how strong I think the card is for this deck. So obviously it's an ace, so on play when dissolving when attacking. So that effect is not once per turn either. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's play cost 6 or lower Digimon for every 10 cards you trash. Add 3 to the cost maximum. Mind you, almost forgot this. You can also warp this over if you have 20 cards in your trash before.
And because you can warp, it also means that Blast Digi-Evolution is live once you hit that condition.
Correct, with the Ifmon on board. Yes, sir, it sure does. And then on play when Digivolving as well. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, by returning 2 non-Digi-Egg cards to your trash to the top of the deck, Digivolve 2 on one of your opponent's Digimon. So strong. So many things you can do with this card. You can facilitate so many more combos when you're playing offensively, in my opinion, with this card. Because again, none of these effects are once per turn effects. You can do it multiple times.
So weird.
If it's your turn, you Evo into this and you keep turn on Evo, mill, when attacking, mill, pop something as well. Like, it's so much to this, right? And then you can recur cards from your deck, from your trash to your deck to reuse maybe like the mill effects, or even to make sure you don't mill yourself out. You just keep popping off with your plays. Like, it's just so much this card does for you that I just think this has to be 3 to 4 of in the deck.
Yeah. Can we also just appreciate that this fucking fire Kenji art is only the alternate art? Goated. So I don't have to go spending big bucks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy because this art is, so if you guys don't know, you should go look up the famous Akira poster. This is pretty much like kind of like a, what do they call it? An homage to the Akira poster. Crazy. Akira, sure, however you want to pronounce it. It's such a crazy art, and I love that it's only an alternate art, so I don't have to go spending big bucks to get copies of this card.
I definitely need. I might not play Beelzemon consistently like that, but I definitely gotta get me a couple of these because the art is just so fire.
Yeah, this card is really good for Beelzemon. I can't wait to start brewing. I forgot that Digimon Emperor was released. It's kind of because he's irrelevant.
I didn't. I just didn't care.
It's so.
It's whatever. So he's a mem setter, I think.
No, he's not.
Even a mem
for
setter,
every 2 colors that your opponent has, gain a memory.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then on play, pop something. Then you return one thing from trash to bottom of deck, and then you can play something with the same color as the thing that was returned. But like, why? This cost a whole fucking 5. Why do you care about this card? Why is he an SR? Why are there no other cards that let him do what he's trying to? What is he even trying to do? He's so bad.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It feels like it feels so out of place in the sense of like, as an SR that does something weird with no like support with it. It's just a very strange card. Like I get it because it's the villain set. You want the Digimon Emperor in it. Mind you, that's a fantastic art. But like by itself, unless they have something in the future with this card does nothing.
You know what they should have done? They should have just given us an extra option card that was the Black Spirals. And say like, I don't know, whatever. But like even that would have been more cohesive than just this one singular random ass SR tamer that does what for what deck, no one knows.
Yeah, I mean, Wormmon can search it. I guess cool.
I guess.
Because he's also treated as Ken.
Sure.
Right, exactly.
So that is our EX10 set preview, set review, however you want to look at it. This set's coming out soon. By the time you guys see this, it should be out already, I believe. So happy EX10 release day. Or if you're watching this because you're a YouTube member, well, you guys know that Creepy Munge, you should start brewing that with some Growlmon shenanigans because yeah, why would you not? Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for staying around. I know this one was a long one. We had a lot to talk about. If you guys liked it, please do drop a like, drop a comment letting me know what you're excited for at EX10, because there's a lot. If you're a villain kind of fan, there's a lot for you. I know I can't wait for some of this stuff. But more importantly, subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. Thanks again for watching. Until we talk to you guys. Peace out.
Catch y'all on the next one.